your facilities safe and your people safer. Call clickgranger.com/safe.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
That makes it of you pressing play on your computer. It's like, I'm grinding tape now. I just...
Listen and subscribe to The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny, wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm Christine Lisi. Developing story. 19-year-old Nashville Predators defenseman Luke Prokop today became the first active player under NHL contract to come out as gay. He told ESPN he believes living his authentic life will help ease his mind and allow him to play his best hockey. Packers training camp opens 1 week from tomorrow, and the questions remain. Will Aaron Rodgers report, play this season, be traded, sit out? For Rodgers, his rip with the team's about one thing, explains ESPN's Dan Graziano.
He's trying to gain some control over the ending of his career, writing his own ending, so to speak. And I think if there's a way for the Packers to adjust his contract so that he knows how much longer he's going to be there, then I think that probably gets them a little bit down the road toward getting him in a position where he can come back and play for them for however long that is.
Dan Graziano on Keyshawn, J-Will, and Zubin. At SEC Media Days, Commissioner Greg Sankey announced 6 of the league's 14 football teams have reached 80% vaccinations. The vaccination threshold for COVID-19 restrictions to be eased is 85%. With vaccinations lagging, COVID forfeits will be on the table.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, and an app that lets you bank anytime, anywhere, choosing Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
How do we do this? It's been a little bit. Welcome back. Good to be back. Happy middle of July. When we departed, this seemed like a long way away. Hope you had a good couple weeks.
Yeah.
Are you still doing the morning show?
I haven't got fired yet, so still do the morning show.
Congrats.
Yeah, we had some chaos this morning, but it's okay.
Oh, did you?
We made it through, yeah.
All right. Chaos can be good.
We were held hostage by our soundboard. We couldn't play music, and we couldn't go to commercial. So it was literally us talking for about 30 straight minutes, which is, hey, by the way, right in my wheelhouse.
That's right. A little unusual, though, in that side of the...
A little unusual on that side.
Yeah.
Causes people to stress out a little bit. For me, I'm like...
Can you play us a song?
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I'm just like, hey, and I'm right at home, so it's all good.
I hope you had a good couple of weeks. Hey, football season on the horizon now. As we head into late July, and you're Giannis and the Bucks are...
Yeah.
Maybe we're just ready to close this thing out. They got to get one more W.
Yep.
That's been fun to watch. So you've had a
ESPN
good couple
Milwaukee.
weeks.
Oh, yeah, ESPN Milwaukee now, basically. You know, it's wild because when we left the show, it was, is Giannis going to play this season? You know, is he out for the entire playoffs?
Absolutely.
Are the Milwaukee Bucks in shambles? The Brewers were struggling. Aaron Rodgers going to Denver. Like, it's crazy how things can turn around now, but I don't know the severity of the injury, the severity of the injury. Obviously, nothing's torn, I would assume. But, like, if you go back and watch that video when Clint Capella fell on his knee, I mean, I don't know what he's done in terms of rehab. I don't know what he's made of. Whatever the case may be, he's having a hell of a playoff run so far. Yeah. And I don't know if he's got a Don Joy knee brace just made out of humbleness and blue-collarness, but that's what it's sounding like.
Yeah, this isn't Tom Brady playing on an MCL, by the way. I mean, Tom Brady's playing football, I get it, but the MCL stuff that kind of came out over the last couple of weeks, and that's admirable as well.
Sure.
But, I mean, he's standing in the pocket and
you.
Shuffling a little bit. I mean, Giannis is running up and down the court, blocking people with epic blocks and epic dunks as well to finish off the Suns the other night. So, I mean, it's a totally different situation. The backstory of this will be really wild to see. You know, exactly what's wrong, what went on, how did he just get lucky? I mean, maybe he did just get lucky, but I'm not sure right now. And, well, he has to finish it off probably. But the heroic nature of this from an athlete standpoint is enormous, and I'm not sure it's even getting enough attention. I don't know. Maybe it's just because we're kind of in that summer mode or whatever, but if this was name your NBA player from yesteryear, I think we would be like so over the top about this. I'm not saying it's not being covered, it's not being talked about, but I mean, this is unbelievable what he's doing, really. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So the Bucks will try to finish off the Suns, and that was a heck of a win the other day. I mean, down by 16 after the first quarter, and then to do what they did. So that's good.
Yeah.
Fight week for you.
Fight week for me.
How's it going? You ready?
It's going fantastic. I'm healthy, which is the most important part. All the hard stuff is done. So, yeah, I'm more than ready, man. I can't wait.
Taper week.
Taper week.
I love taper week.
Oh, yeah.
It's like taper week for all the Olympians, too, you know.
It is.
Get ready.
Yes.
So you're on schedule with them.
For sure. Well, I suppose depending what sport you play, but I assume it's mostly taper week for everybody.
Do you, I see your meal today, your 4 o'clock meal.
Oh, yeah.
Is that anything extra special on a fight week, or is that the norm?
You know what we do, Brent? We're creatures of habit, and we stay consistent. So we're staying consistent now. Going to add a couple extra pretzels every once in a while, but that's about it.
All right, so
just for carbs.
You were initially going to fight like earlier this month. Somewhere else. I don't even know if we ever release the details, so we won't. But
it was supposed to be in Philly, but yeah, that fell through.
So
I can tell you. Yeah.
And so now you're fighting in Orlando on Saturday.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
What are the details of this fight coming up?
Yeah, so I'm fighting Rashawn Jackson for the Combat Night Heavyweight Championship, the first one that's been done under that company's banner, basically. But, you know, Rashawn Jackson comes in highly touted. He's a guy who his last 2 fights have been against UFC fighters. He went split decision with one of those guys, his last fight, actually. And the dude before that, by the name of Chase Sherman, TKO'd him in the first round due to leg kicks. So he's got quite the resume built up. You know, kind of on the shorter side. He's about 6 foot, 6'1", a little more of a mauler, brawler type who likes to grapple a lot. He comes from a wrestling background, but he's got good striking. He's got clean striking, can come wide, can come straight. I'm not sure if you really know what that means. Don't worry about it.
I won't.
But long story short is I got to take care of my stuff, do my due diligence, and make sure I'm ready to go.
All right. So that's coming up on Saturday. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the week goes along. But it's been a few months now since your last fight.
It's been a little bit.
When was it?
When was it? March, yeah.
I think it was March.
So like
man, you got to be really patient in your business.
It does come with patience, and it comes with letting a lot of stuff just slide. Because, like I said, I mean, we were expected to fight last month. That fell through because the guy I was supposed to fight ended up fighting for PFL, which is like an ESPN thing. So that fight fell through. So it's a lot of just, keeping the faith and hoping that something eventually comes about.
Yeah, no doubt. Football season, I mentioned, on the horizon. It is now a little bit over a week away until the Jags hit training camp. They'll be here a week from tomorrow, on the eve of camp, and then camp set to begin on Wednesday. We really still don't have a lot of information about camp, unless I just didn't get that email. But I would assume we'll have some open practices for the fans. I think there'll be that typical scrimmage, and all that stuff. And then the 3 preseason games. But we really haven't seen the full schedule yet for training camp. But again, it's coming soon. It's coming next week. In fact, some teams already report this week to training camp. The rest, July 27th, which will be a week from tomorrow.
Do we know, is it going to be the inner squad with any teams or not? Have we got that information?
We don't know. And I know that was, I think I told you and said on the show maybe last month that I think there was some poking around about that. I believe if it does occur, the conversations were most likely with the Saints, but I don't know where that has landed.
Okay.
And so, again, very little information in terms of, like, what are they doing? And, I mean, I'm sure that's going to come out over the next couple of days. But, what time are they practicing? What's the schedule look like? How often are the fans? The biggest thing for the fans is it going to be open? And how much of it will be open? My guess is it won't be open every day. I just wonder if the NFL is going to allow that. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, okay? This isn't inside info. But I would say that most likely there'll be select practices that will be open to the fans, given the situation.
Well, there would have to be, right? Like, I just feel like, with all the buzz that's been around this city, and we've seen other teams kind of follow the trend now of opening back up and opening training camp to fans. I think the Browns have done that. I think a few other teams have done that as well.
I saw the Jets open up just a certain amount of practice. I think you'll see the same thing.
Yeah, you got to do the same thing. But hey, the hunt. I mean, give us behind the scenes. Let us know when fans can go to practice. Let us know if you can do some inter-squad practicing. Give us a little nibble here behind the scenes.
Well, I think this, by the way, from a Jags perspective, I think this the sign of that is when you had the last episode of The Hunt when they broke minicamp, all right, they really got away like the Jags got away, the coaches got away. I think Urban Meyer let his staff get away and everybody say, hey, it's been a long offseason to this point. You know, there's a lot of work put in when you're a new coaching staff. Go catch your breath and be ready to go. And my guess is they'll probably be back in the building, if not later this week, then right around the weekend time, and then it's go time. But I think a little bit of the fact that we don't even have a schedule, which will come from the coaching staff and Urban Meyer, that they haven't released it yet, is they're probably still trying to tidy some of those things up because – I mean, they did get away. Like, there wasn't like, hey, we're going to work a couple days in the week. And I was like, kind of get away a little bit and catch the breath. So, and I don't mind that at all. I think that was pretty good. You saw over the a couple of weeks that we were gone, Trevor Lawrence throwing up at Clemson, having some fun with the wide receivers. You know, I know a lot of people like to kind of put their arms around that, get excited about that stuff, and I think that's cool for the fans. I mean, it's great, but it's typical. You know, it's not that atypical, right? I mean, anymore, if you don't spend time around your receivers, you know, in the summer or in the off season, it feels like we're going to say something negative about you.
I mean, Brent, but have we seen Zach Wilson on a lake hanging out with his wide receivers?
Maybe his mom's not talking about it on Instagram.
I was going to see. I see Zach Wilson trying to run, you know, PR for his mom. That's about it right now. So, no, I mean, yes. When we talk about the offseason, all these guys are hanging out. They're making, you know, those bonds and building that camaraderie. But I will say this, though. I like the effort that is being put forth by Trevor Lawrence, by some of these younger players, because they understand it. Like, right now, the chemistry, the relationships, they're built right now. Like, yeah, it's training camp and it forces you, it forges a relationship there, so be it. But I think the thought is that they're trying to build these things before training camp even starts and hit the ground running. And I love to see it, you know, and I get it. Sometimes the story could be overblown a little bit, but I think we can't state this enough. I think this was spearheaded by Trevor Lawrence, obviously, because they're throwing at Clemson, number one. They're hanging out, I guess, by his lake or whatever the case may be, number two. So he's spearheading this whole thing. And I love to see it because there was a small school of thought, and I wasn't one of these people that thought, well, does he love the game of football? Does he care? You know, he's into other things like that. Well, when you do things, when you go to Clemson and you throw to your new teammates of the Jacksonville Jaguars, you put those rumors to bed. Not that those rumors should have ever been there in the first place, but you put those to bed. And obviously building that relationship, the chemistry, and having success on that offense is a big deal to Trevor Lawrence.
He obviously likes cannonballs more than he likes touchdowns. Right?
There we go.
Jumping in the lake. You know what I do like about the getting together with some of those guys? And not everybody can make it. It's nothing. I don't know how many guys were asked to go, right? We have no idea. But I thought it was cool that it was DJ Chark, I think it was LaVisca in there, but it was Marvin Jones as well, the veteran guy, you know, going with the young guys. So it's not just like these young guys hanging out that are 24, 23 years old. That's that old guy in the locker room, too, forging that relationship. So that was the one thing that caught my attention. Maybe more than others. So that was kind of the Jags. Really, is that the only Jags thing that really happened over the last couple weeks? Obviously, Trevor got signed, and now ETN today gets signed to the rookie deal. But that's not news anymore. I mean, you know that's happening. But this has been, knock on wood here, you got a week to go. A nice, quiet summer for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's how the coaches like it.
No, for sure. I mean, you've seen some of the stories with Richard Sherman and things like that. Yeah, it's been a busy news cycle in the NFL, but as far as Jacksonville is concerned, I haven't really seen a lot, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, the big story, actually, when it pertains to Jacksonville is what Jalen Ramsey said, you know, and that's just kind of reliving the past, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit, a couple of things, because it's pretty, you know, we said 2035 was the 30 for 30 on Saxonville that we're producing. But Jalen just provided us with a little bit of, you know, hindsight at what happened after the 17 season.
Yeah,
you know, and how it all unraveled.
A little behind the scenes.
A little bit. So we'll talk about some of those things. Hey, let's not bury the lead. We got to welcome in Casey.
Yes.
Casey's who's been here before. He's filled in for Coos in the past. And we got to give a big thanks to boss man Nick for also jumping in while Coos transitioned back over to WAPE. And Coos, by the way, for a couple of years was awesome for us and wears so many different hats in the station. And now is Austin's boss. So that's kind of cool.
Pretty much. Still got my business cards, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And Coos, Casey, you don't get that. Yeah, you're not technically Austin's boss. Sorry.
No, man.
Yeah, I won't even try.
We're just going to work together. How does that sound?
It's a team effort.
Cool.
But you can hit him from straight or wide if you want to, or whatever he said. I don't know.
Yeah, you can throw straight. You can throw wide. Absolutely. Keep me guessing.
So, Casey, welcome aboard, man. This is a gig now. Here's the thing. Here's what I know about Casey.
Yes.
I know Casey likes sports a lot.
Yes.
He's a Rays fan, like a real Rays fan.
Okay.
You know, which are very hard to come by, first of all.
All 10 of them out there.
Him and Ty.
Yep, that's it.
That's us. That's the team.
That's it.
Yep. Two Twitter followers on that whole thing.
That's it.
You and
Not
Ty.
the only one because Ty doesn't have Twitter.
Ty doesn't. That's right.
So,
the only Twitter follower for the Rays.
That's your Rays fan.
Yeah.
So that's what I know about Casey. Casey worked down in TV. He was a studio tech down there. And, you know, we've talked for, I don't even know how long he was down there, but I see him in the TV world.
Yep.
And that's how he kind of ended up transitioning over here, obviously looking to get into sports, and helped us out when we needed some folks. And then this spot came open when Kuz went over to AP more full-time, if you will. And here we are. But that's all we really know about you, Casey. We have no idea where you're from. I didn't do the background check is what I'm getting at.
Which is crazy because you guys work together like a lot. We're not really see them in passing.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not
really.
Let's be honest. I'm not the most social guy.
I guess not, man. I thought I had you pegged. I guess I was wrong.
You also don't have a lot of time to talk to Brandon TV because, you know, I'm counting down from like 5 seconds till he's on TV and he's just kind of strolling in.
That's what happens. Yeah.
Okay. Or he's late.
Yeah, I'm just about late all the time.
Yeah.
Down there.
Living by the edge, yeah.
Yeah. But, Casey, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where are you from?
Yeah, so I was born in Indiana, didn't live there super long, and I moved to
Go Hoosiers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my aunt went there, and then the rest of my family went to Purdue, so it's kind of a
Boilermakers.
thing.
Okay.
Anyway, moved to Palmetto, Florida, shout out 941, when I was in, like, first grade. And that is near Sarasota, Bradenton, not the Palmetto in Miami, if you were wondering. Went to high school there, did all the things, played a whole lot of baseball, way too much baseball, every weekend, every week for 15 years.
Wow.
Thought I was doing that in college, did not. Then my mom said, well, if you're not going to play baseball, you got to do something. You ain't just going to sit in my house. So
sounds like my mom.
Applied at some schools. They all said no because my grades were not great. UNF said, you know what? Might as well, but you got to come in the summer. Went to UNF, figured out what I was doing, wanted to do this, got hired in TV, found out that was not it. So then I awkwardly stood outside the sports office every night to talk to Brent, and here we are.
Hey, whatever. That's how you got to get it done.
He's like the football player that was outside of training camp when the coaches drove up, and he's got the sign like, "Hey, please, give me a shot."
Give me a spot.
That's what Casey was doing.
Right. Hey,
and
whatever
guess what?
it takes, man.
He got a shot.
He got a shot. Here we go.
Yeah.
So swoop for UNF. 941, I knew where that was because Steph's parents stay like in the Inglewood area for a couple months out of the year, and that's that 941 area code.
Cool.
Good baseball over there, by the way. What position?
Played a lot of first base. I pitched a lot when I was younger, and then I got real upset that nobody could field a ground ball when I was pitching, so I gave up on that. Came back to it, and turned out the stress on the arm that wasn't there for those 3 years helped out a lot. So pretty much in high school and travel near the end, it was straight on the mound.
So what high school did you go to?
Palmetto.
Oh, that's the name of the high school?
Yeah, Palmetto High.
Okay.
Now, Casey, if I was going to construct a batting lineup, where would you be on that card?
Fourth or last?
Dude's batting cleanup.
Fourth or what?
Last.
Or last?
Yeah, no, it's either.
All I heard was fourth, and that's all you had to say.
I think he must be an all or nothing guy.
It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing.
Okay.
At the end, it was all or nothing. Like I used to try to get base hits, and then I was like, it's either going over or off the wall, or I'm sitting down in 3 pitches.
He's got that new school mentality. I like that.
It.
I like that.
He does have that new school mentality.
Got that new school
He'd
mentality.
fit in just fine.
Yeah.
Hey, one last thing. So you do some podcasts and stuff like that, though, right? I mean, big golf, big in the fantasy golf world. Is that right?
So do a podcast right now, fantasy golf, strictly daily fantasy, because there's no year-long golf, if you will, besides pools. So me and my friend Kevin, we do that every week for the tournaments coming up. We go through there's obviously a bunch of different DFS options for where you can play. I don't know if I'm allowed to say these things out loud.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Everybody knows all the big ones, whether it's FanDuel or DraftKings.
We go through the prices on DraftKings, go through that, who's valuable. We do that every week. And then, like you said, Rays, I write for a Rays site on Fansided, Rays Color Glasses, as well as a golf site on Fansided as well.
Yeah, see that? So he's got multiple hats.
Be honest, is that why you hired him? Is it because he has a golf podcast and writes on the golf website?
No, really, I didn't know that until I looked on his Twitter handle.
Okay. Okay.
So I didn't know that I think he said some things, but not like in that depth, so I didn't know that as much. No, we really hired him because nobody else wants this gig to work with us. So that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
But we are thinking about Now we should do weekly picks of golf.
Yep,
just so
it is.
you can memorize every bio of every pro golfer, because that's how you would pick. The bio picture.
I'm
right?
really going to know a lot about these
bio,
people.
Just the pick.
I don't care how good or talented these golfers are, but I'm going to know a lot about their upbringings and their stories and their backgrounds. So, yeah, I mean, I'm in for it if you want to do that.
Real quick, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we'll go right to his wheelhouse right away.
Okay.
Is Colin Morikawa, because we have to ask this, champion 2 majors in 8 starts, which is pretty incredible.
It's pretty good.
Especially playing those majors for like the first time, too. I mean, he's sensational. He's a really great ball striker, very modest, so he's not going to like wow the world with personality. And
he has some
what
sway. He's got some style to him, though.
He does.
I like the style.
He could be, and I hesitate to say this because we've done this for 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. We've done it with Rory, and we've done it with DJ, and we've done it with the latest is DeChambeau and Koepka. And by the way, these guys are stars. So, like, Colin Morikawa is a star. Mm-hmm. What people want to know is he like the next great thing? Mm-hmm. And I would say hold the phone on that. But 2 majors in 8 starts, that starts putting you into some crazy good category, like very exclusive category. Like I think there's only one other guy category.
Yeah. So he won the PGA in his first ever PGA. He won the Open in his first ever Open. First person to win 2 majors or win the Open and the PGA under 25 years old since Tiger.
Yeah. So that's how good it is, right? I mean, so when you do that, you ask the question, is he the Casey?
Yes.
Is he like mega star, like better than Rory?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's different in the way of if he's bad, he's horrible, but he's not bad in the majors. He won a WGC. This is it. I mean, Brooks doesn't win enough other events, and it looks like Brooks doesn't care enough to get to the point where he would be the next. This guy, I mean, he's only been on tour for a year. So, and he's done this already. You got to watch out.
Yeah, I mean, he might be the next thing. I mean, who knows? I will say this. He answered one major question for me. And I said this. When he won the PGA Championship, he did it in a COVID world where there were no fans. And I really thought, I wasn't trying to take it away from him, but he hit some big-time shots down the stretch in that tournament. But he didn't feel it. He didn't have to feel the tension.
Sure.
He didn't have to feel the crowd. Like, that's a big part of it, man. I mean, that is a big part of, feeling everything you do down the stretch of a major championship. And he didn't have to do that. Well, he proved the other day that even with however many people out there, he can still make the shots. This time he did it with the putter. Actually, he made 2 huge putts down the stretch. So he answered that question for me. I really did wonder if he would have won that PGA Championship if there were the real crowds that we normally get. Like, I think he benefited from not having them.
Yeah.
But now I think after this weekend, he answered the question, and, hey, I can win in front of whoever.
Well, I'm glad that Casey's here because, I would have said he's got style. So, we'll see. He's got style.
He got style.
He's got style.
Listen, we snuck in a tiny bit of MMA before the golf.
Well, and NBA. But it's about me, though. But it is what it is. And then, to try to counterbalance things just a little bit, John Cena's back in WWE. So there you go.
Is he really?
Colin Morikawa, John Cena's back, yes.
Why?
He's going to have a feud with Roman Reigns. He made an appearance last night at WWE's Money in the Bank.
Is that a saver for WWE who continues to have major issues?
Got a big pop last night,
streaming issues.
Oh, horrible shit. I mean, that was the trending thing last night. But no, he got a huge pop last night. I'm sure ratings are going to be boosted because of it.
Place went nuts.
Oh, yeah, the place was...
Because at the end there...
You're a wrestling guy, too?
Oh, I'm sorry, Casey. We wrestling fans over here, too?
A little bit.
Oh, Brent, now look what you did.
Here we go.
Now look what you did.
This is like having Boss Man Nick back.
Hey, Colin Morikawa, now he transitioned to wrestling. No, but you're not lying, Casey. It was a huge pop last night for him.
Is this just a small temporary thing, though?
I mean, he's got other things going on.
He's got so much going on.
The guy's an action movie star now.
Well, I told you last time, I don't even think there's a lot of people that don't even realize he wrestled.
True.
Because he's such a big movie star.
Well, he's in like Fast and the Furious 25 or whatever it is now. So,
yeah. I mean, he's such a big name in entertainment.
Sure.
That I think there's a big part of the population that doesn't even know he wrestled.
Sure.
Or,
you're not lying.
Very little, they remember it.
Correct.
Or all that stuff,
Correct.
Which is why he's wildly popular. He's got a wrestling base.
Yep.
He's got
and then it just makes me feel old as well when you say things like that. But you're not lying. But I feel old sometimes.
Well, you better be young Saturday night.
I will,
You got
man.
a fight coming up.
Spring chicken over here.
All right. Hey, let's talk a little more football. Jalen's always a juicy topic. What Jalen Ramsey had to say about the Jags. Did any of that surprise you? Did he go out of bounds in any way? And does it make you think any differently of how things went down? Whether it's the criticism of Jalen or the criticism of the Jags brass? Talk a little bit about it. We come back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Good to be back. Welcome aboard, Casey, here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A 6 on the weather meter for this Monday with scattered showers and storms popping along and west of I-95. These will be impacting the Jax Metro through the evening commute. An isolated lingering shower tonight, mostly cloudy, most neighborhoods dry out, low 73 degrees. Partly cloudy Tuesday, more showers and storms, high 89. Then partly cloudy, scattered afternoon storms Wednesday, high 91. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The weather meter is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save up to 40% off with Christmas and July savings now through the 25th.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks R Us Training Helpline. Today, we're discussing another difference between ding-dong doorbell cameras and safe touch security.
For one thing, the do-it-yourself ding-dong doorbell camera automatically enrolls the user in the doorbell's sharing network plan.
A sharing network? Why, that sounds lovely.
Huh, until you find out that unlike Safe Touch, these ding-dong doorbell cameras automatically share the user's internet with neighbors, whether they like it or not.
Don't believe us? Search sidewalk sharing.
And then there's Safe Touch security with encrypted technology on the entire system, including video monitoring.
Which is just one more reason why we crooks have a golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. If you haven't already, write it down, newbie.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Anyone can talk like they're a big dog, but few actually walk the talk. We're not the only plumbing company claiming same-day water heater service. In fact, a lot of customers have called us after other companies failed to come through on their same-day service talk. Fortunately, Griffin Service delivers. We eat big dogs for lunch. And we fix what others can't. Some of that's knowing the science, engineering, and craft of AC and plumbing better than the Bubbas, but it's also better planning. The key to actually doing same-day water heater replacement is having water heaters in stock and ready to go. And that's what we do. Gas, electric, tank, tankless, we got them all in stock and ready to roll for you. So if you want to avoid the bait-and-switch turd bucket tactics of the Bubbas, or if you discover you're in the middle of an all-talk, no-walk situation with a wannabe, well, you know who to call, right?
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
I got that call. Like, man, it was Dave call when we got the call. He was like, man, I never thought I'd have to give you this call. I never wanted to give you this call, but we're going to go ahead and trade you. My whole mind, I'm like, bet. Mind you, I had my stuff packed, everything already. I was ready. I'm like, bet. I'm like, to where? To where? He was like, L.A.
So that is Jalen Ramsey on getting the call from Dave Caldwell, then the Jaguars general manager who drafted Jalen Ramsey and then traded away Jalen Ramsey. And a little bit later on, we'll get into the whole beef that he had with the organization. And a lot of it centered around what Caldwell said to him after the Houston Texans game. But Jalen Ramsey kind of airing out a little bit of the laundry on how he left Jacksonville. And we knew he wanted out of Jacksonville. So that part and that kind of reaction from him, I guess, isn't that surprising.
No, not at all. I wonder if he jumped for joy or if his back was bothering him, or he just kind of, threw his hands up in a little, hey, I'm going someplace else. Probably jumped for joy.
Yeah, probably jumped for joy.
Probably jumped as high as he could.
There was never... I remember having that conversation, and I remember two big conversations over these last couple of years were Yannick Ngakoue and then, of course, Jalen Ramsey. And Ramsey was like a month-long conversation, so much so that people that were listening to us were like, can you stop talking about Jalen Ramsey, right? Yeah. Well, it was a major conversation. I mean, you're talking about, one of the big, a guy who I thought would go down as maybe like the best player in franchise history, talent-wise. Sure. Now, a cornerback is most likely not going to get that moniker. It's very tough to do, although Tony Baselli as a left tackle isn't normally going to get that. He has that, in many ways. So I think this guy is super talented, a big fan of his game. And so I was rooting which way against, Jalen Ramsey being traded. But you kind of knew this and said this at that time, like it was inevitable, man. I mean, he was once he asked, once the whole back stuff came up, once it was kind of in the works, it was just a matter of time when it was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he got what he wanted, and whether it's right or wrong, if you're a superstar in the NFL and you still have a lot of years ahead of you, usually you can get what you want, I wasn't surprised by the comments of what he said on the podcast. Wasn't really surprised at all because we've echoed this before. Spoiler alert, Jalen Ramsey didn't like Tom Coughlin. Oh, he didn't? Really? Also, in other news, the sky is blue. Nothing that he said really surprised me. Now, the whole Dave Caldwell thing where Dave Caldwell essentially cussed him out for the scenes, I believe it was in Houston. Yeah. That was a little surprising to me because, I've never really had a long conversation with Dave, but I didn't really pin Dave to be that type of person who would choose somebody out in a meeting. I guess it just wasn't me. Now, maybe I was wrong, so be it. But I think what we had more than anything, Brent, and it's something that we really said since I feel like the Tom Coughlin thing came out where he was saying 100% participation, and then there were some miscommunications between him, Doug Marrone, it seemed like Dave Caldwell as well, is this is what happens when you don't have communication and you don't have the chain of command. And that's what transpired. You get the sense that Yannick Ngakoue wasn't happy. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey wasn't happy. And he gave a laundry list of reasons of why that was. But it all stems down to the chain of command. because was it Tom Coughlin's show? Was it Dave Caldwell's show? Was it Shad Khan's show? Was it Doug Marone's show?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a question that we went back and forth on. And I think you could kind of relate to sometimes it was Doug Marone's show. Sometimes he was taking the fall. Sometimes it was Tom Coughlin's fault. Whatever the case may be, but there was no chain of command. And whether you're a fan of football, whether you're a football player, whether you're a fan of relationships and romantic comedies, if you don't have communication, whether it's a rom-com, whether it's a football team, it's going to fall apart. All right? I've seen too many of those to know it's going to fall apart. Enough said.
Casey, let's hear a little bit more from Shad telling Jalen why he hadn't been traded at that time, if we've got it.
We even got to a point where I had a meeting with the owner, and we sat down, and he was like, look, these are the teams that have called. I'm like, man, what's it going to take? Like, you know what I mean? I know I done heard, like, I'm like, man, I done seen on social media, I done heard that y'all done got a 1 and a 2. Like, why you ain't taking that? Like, I ain't care what they had it, to be honest, but I'm just trying to sell it. Like, yo, I heard you got a 1 and a 2. Why you ain't taking it? He told me straight up, he said, man, look, this is how it's going. This is what I've been offered. And he naming the teams. This is why I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it until I get 2 1s for sure. I'm not taking nothing less than 2 1.
That's really interesting, right? Is that pretty interesting? Is that the dialogue going on between a guy that's asked to be traded and maybe the transparency from the owner in that situation? Like, I don't know how often that takes place. I mean, a lot of times when they have these feuds, a lot of times it's got to do with ownership per se. Mm-hmm. This was not that. Like, Jalen Ramsey didn't have an issue with Shad Khan and Tony Khan per se, right? Kind of had an issue with Coughlin and then Dave Caldwell after the Houston thing, which we'll get into a little bit later on. But kind of the whole organization, just how everything was going. Less specific to the owner. And so actually having this kind of dialogue in the midst of being traded and not playing is wild to me.
And obviously with this whole conversation, you take it with a grain of salt because you don't know if it's all true or not.
Good point. It's one side.
This is his side. Yes. It's Jalen Ramsey's side. Now take that for what you want. But if it is true, and Jalen Ramsey's meeting with the owner, and they're talking about the trade negotiations of how he's getting a first and second rounder, and Jalen's saying, well, you got to take that deal. Like, Jalen Ramsey's not a GM. He's a hell of a player.
I know.
Might be the best cornerback in the entire NFL. He is not a general manager. So why you're divulging this information to Jalen Ramsey in a meeting if you're Shad Khan? I get he's a great player, but he doesn't run the team. He's not responsible for the roster negotiations. To me, if you're telling Jalen Ramsey, hey, you know what we're getting right now? We're getting a first and a second. But I'll be honest with you, Jalen, we can get more. I want 2 firsts at least. If you divulge that information to him, isn't that kind of like playing into Jalen's hand? Because now his agent can go, oh, hey, any team out there, 2 firsts gets the job done. Like, if I'm Shad Khan, I'm keeping that under wraps a little bit. That's just me. Maybe that's not how business is done.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But that's what I would. I wouldn't tell the guy that I'm trading what we're getting for him. But
well, yeah, maybe. But we talked over and over about communication. That would be, if communication was a problem, which it could have been too many cooks in the kitchen, who's running the show, all that stuff, things we've talked about, things I've written about, things on how I think you had to fix the Jags even this past offseason that we've discussed. That would be a wild part of it, like if that's how it went down. And he's so transparent to a guy that apparently don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Like, again, I mean, that's an interesting conversation to have. So, we already know this part, but, I mean, Jalen on Tom Coughlin, like you just said, it's like, hey, surprise, surprise. Jalen and the rest of the team were done with Tom Coughlin. That, according to Jalen Ramsey. Let's listen to that one, and then we'll pick up more Jalen, talk a little bit later on in the show.
So when they brought in Tom Coughlin, we was he went complete opposite of that. He was like, it felt like even worse than college at times. You know what I mean?
Just all over again.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it turned into like where we didn't even feel like half the stuff that he was trying to implement was even about football. You know what I mean? Like, man, you got to wear white socks. Like, dang, coach, it don't matter if I wear white socks or black socks. The receiver gonna get shut down regardless. You know what I mean? Like,
he probably gonna get shut down a little bit more if you let me wear what I want to wear. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? So it started to like just little stuff like that. He started to bring and like as a team, we ain't really like him like that. You know what I mean? Didn't nobody really like him or rock with him.
Look good, feel good, play good.
It is. I think that's an interesting listen, one of the headlines coming out here this was, hey, the team was just like, we're done with Tom Coughlin. Forget about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're moving on and whatever. It is what it is. But, I mean, still, that was the guy in charge of finding you and other things, right? He was in charge of the football stuff at the time. The interesting part about that is less to do with Jalen and more to do with today's player.
Sure.
Right, in today's game. And that is where we wondered if Tom Coughlin could be effective, or was he going to lose his way a little bit with this modern-day athlete that we have said has changed not in the last 20, 25 years, but in the last, handful of years, since you even played, since you were drafted, within the last decade. That's how much has changed. And I think that kind of comment spoke to that. It's like, hey, we don't care whatever the heck we want, because when I go to college, I'm a five-star guy, and I wear whatever I want.
Yeah.
And I'm in the NFL, I'm a first-round pick, I'm the 5th overall pick, and I'm going to kind of do whatever I want.
But see, and here's the thing about the modern era NFL athlete, and this goes to show you just how big of a deal it was. 2017, you went to the AFC Championship game. You were a couple plays away from going to the Super Bowl, and you still didn't buy in with Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
You still had issues with him.
Point.
So do they say winning cures everything? Well, no, not all the time, man.
No.
Because a dictatorship like that, it can be a disease, and there's no cure for it. And you saw that, I think, with Tom Coughlin. It's nothing against Tom Coughlin in terms of the type of dude that he is. It was just his style, his philosophies at that time just didn't mesh well with the modern era NFL athlete. And once again, you were winning ball games, and they still didn't buy in.
Yeah.
So it goes to show you just how big of a deal that was.
That's a really good point. And, I always bring people back to this. They were about to explode in that locker room after that first training camp.
Mm-hmm.
And they went out and they kicked Houston's butt.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't do that, we have no idea where that season would have gone. I mean, you go ask player again, that's the 2035 30 for 30 coming out. And players will say that. I guarantee you we could get players saying that this thing was, if we didn't win that game in Houston, this thing could have got real ugly real quick. Could have lost them, the locker room. But what your point is, they did win, and they kept winning. They had fun. They had big years. They had Pro Bowl years. They did great things for the team, the organization, the city, their careers.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start to lose, and that's what happened. 2018, after the first month, was a disaster. And as soon as you start to go the other way, it can't hold up. You have to win all the time. Somebody once told me this about Jim Harbaugh in the NFL. And I was like, well, why? Jim Harbaugh was good, went to the Super Bowl, Sure. I mean, he's a good coach.
Yeah.
Said the minute a guy like Harbaugh, if he's not well liked, and you don't love playing for him, which might have been the case in San Francisco, at least from what I heard. Okay, that's from what I heard. The minute you have failure, it's a great chance to get you out of there. Mm-hmm. And if you go back and look at San Francisco, the minute he kind of lost, whether they went 500 or 7-9 or 6-10, they fired him. They started over. They got rid of him and that's kind of the same thing here. It's like, hey, we'll deal with this only after W's. They'll start piling up. We ain't doing it.
Same thing with Doug Peterson. Literally wins the Super Bowl, in 2018? A few years later, looking for a job now? Because what happened? You started losing. You lost the locker room. Probably is what we've heard. And now you're out for, looking for a job again. So it goes to show you, when everything's going good, it doesn't really matter what type of guy you are. If you're winning, it's all good. But you really find out what type of coach, what kind of culture you have is when you start losing games and how the players respond to you. And we've seen it in Jacksonville. You had a good example in San Francisco. We've seen it in Philly as well.
This is a great call, Peterson, though, because Peterson's interesting. He's not he doesn't feel old school like Harbaugh and Coughlin.
Sure.
It doesn't feel like hard ass like that.
Yeah.
Now, he might be, but it doesn't feel that way. He feels a little bit more modern day, but he's got this swag to him, almost like an arrogance to him that I think almost that's the one that prevailed, and then they started losing, and see you later. More to come on the Jalen stuff. Interesting comments a little bit later on in the show. We got some more football talk coming up. Jags related as we count down to camp. On the way, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
It's Monday. I'm Casey Kurtz. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp dropped the series finale in a rain-shortened game on Sunday, 6-3. The Shrimp are back in Duval on Tuesday, taking on the Nashville Sounds. The Sounds are the Milwaukee Brewers AAA club and only visit Jacksonville once this season. Remember, you can hear the Shrimp all season long on ESPN 690 Radio and our Facebook, ESPN 690 Jax. Colin Morikawa won his second major championship at the Open on Sunday. Morikawa is the second player to win both the Open and the PGA Championship before turning 25 years old. The first was Tiger Woods. The end of the Open marks a run of 7 major championships in 11 months on the PGA Tour. It started last August at Harding Park with the PGA Championship, an event also won by Morikawa. And in soccer, the U.S. men's national team took down Canada on Sunday 1-0 to win Group B of the Gold Cup. This SportsCenter update sponsored by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Penalty kicks are to soccer what overtime is to college football, which is to say, it's exciting, but it is a completely ridiculous way to determine the outcome of something important. Here's the deal. If you are one who does not like the idea of putting a runner on second base in extra innings, how can you defend this nonsense?
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Hey, boss, did you see this article in the Crooks R Us newsletter about the ding-dong doorbell cameras?
What'd they do now?
Apparently, they automatically enroll the user in some internet sharing network with their neighbors.
What? That can't be real.
It is real. They even have a name for it. Do a search for sidewalk sharing. You can read all about it.
So you're telling me that all the ding-dong doorbell cameras on any given block are sharing internet with each other?
Yep. So if a hacker gets into one, they could have access to them all.
Does SafeTouch Security do that?
Boss, SafeTouch doesn't do that with their customer security. With SafeTouch, everything's encrypted.
I knew that. I was just testing you.
Well, it's just another reason we got the Crooks R Us golden rule.
Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Yeah, we'll call that one reason number 143.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Temperatures keep climbing and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure the water you and your family drink is cleaner, healthier, and tastes great. It starts with the Connecticut system, proudly made in America and installed by the pros CGC Water. Not sure about your water? Call CGC. They'll analyze your water for free. I haven't had to worry about my water since I got mine installed because Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of the contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, non-electric, twin tanks that use less salt and water during regeneration. Save up to $500 on select softener and RO systems this month. Financing available with approved credit. Call CGC Water at 904-552-1242. Call and ask about Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Tell them Brent sent you and find out all the details and all the great ways you can save. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
The big one is back. It's time for the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. And Arlington's got over 700 new Toyotas available. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles and Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. Arlington will even give you top dollar for your trade. Shop the Big One, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/big one for full details.
For 50 years, Taylor has been a leader in caring for the elderly. Providing quality, compassionate care has always been our mission. At Taylor Care Center and Taylor Manor, our recipe for success has always been our exceptional team. They work tirelessly to ensure that your family member gets the best care possible. When residents were not able to spend time with you and your family, our team stepped up to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and special occasions. Our dedicated staff is among the best in the business. Taylor Residence, providing safe, compassionate care every day.
He's kept you ahead of storms.
This is going to be a very active afternoon of storms.
He's taken you inside storms.
Look at the Reds then that have shifted a little south of Jacksonville.
And for 33 years, the Chief has seen it all. Forecasting severe weather days in advance. So when storms are headed your way, there is only one meteorologist to turn to tonight, the Chief. The knowledge and experience of Jacksonville's Chief Meteorologist, Mike Burrish. Action News Jax First Alert Weather, only on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Purchasing home and auto insurance? Do it the Simply way with Simply IOA. Compare quotes and buy a policy.
online or over the phone. Search Simply IOA or call 844-TALK-TO-SIMPLY. Simply IOA. Insurance the Simply way.
Colon cancer. It can strike anyone. As the third most common cancer, colon cancer can be prevented. A colonoscopy is the only way to detect and prevent colon cancer. Get screened. It saves lives. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more life-saving information.
Tom Bodette here, still leaving the light on for the long-haul trucker. While we were locked down at home, you were out there day and night bringing us what we needed to make it through. And Motel 6 is here to help you make it through. Want to trade a loose load strap and a sore back for a good night's sleep? Yes, you do. Motel 6 has a place just down the road with a clean, comfortable room and a great low rate. You'll know it when you see it. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Mac and Cheese is a person who is, ever since I've seen him, has came on into the locker room with the business approach, doing the initiatives of learning his teammates, understanding that, I gotta raise my level of play, from the collegiate level to the professional level, and I'm here for him, and as well as he is here for me.
That is Cam Newton talking about Mac Jones. It's a really wild time. Like, if we were in New England, I think it would be wild to talk Cam Newton more. Like, we really don't have much of a reason to talk a lot, but Cam Newton fascinates me when I hear him. There's like this maturity about Cam Newton where, I don't know, he's an interesting character. I'm not sure I thought he would take this part of his career in the stride that he's taken this part of his career. He's got plenty to be kind of bitter about in a way, right? I mean, things kind of went south in Carolina because of injuries, and then nobody really wants him. Mm-hmm. And it takes him forever to get a job, and he gets it with New England, and he doesn't really play that well. And I thought, instead of erupting and sounded maybe like at Jalen Ramsey, who's bitter all the time, Cam, I think, has handled this with just an amount of professionalism that I don't. It's unfair to say I'm surprised by it. I don't know him well enough. But he could have gone a different way with this whole thing. And now his replacement's in the building. There's a maturity about the soundbite that he just said. It's almost like he's at peace where he's at in his career. And I get the sense that he knows he doesn't have much left, even though he's a young guy still. But he feels like a 40-year-old quarterback on his way out. The way he talks.
Well,
you get that sense?
No, for sure. I think like his body feels like that too as well.
True.
Because he's had his fair share of bumps and everything. But no, it's an interesting conversation because I remember when Leonard Fournette was still in Jacksonville, and he mentioned bringing Cam Newton to Jacksonville. And we had the conversation of saying, all right, well, if it's going to be Cam Newton, Gardner Minshew, even if Cam Newton was the backup, would you want that type of distraction? Because I think we both agreed, like, would he be comfortable being a backup?
Yeah,
would he
exactly.
be comfortable playing second fiddle to Gardner Minshew? And I think once again, it was long ago, but I believe we both agreed on, like, you shouldn't do it. It'll be a distraction, and we can't afford it. Meanwhile, Tim Tebow's here playing tight end now, so what are we talking about a distraction for? But it is to me, it is a little bit of a breath of fresh air when we're talking about Cam Newton now in New England, because if you look at last year, it was a horrible season. Now they went 7-9 last year, but under Patriot standards, that's a horrible season.
It was a messy 7-9.
It was a messy 7-9. It was a sloppy 7-9.
They looked like a 2011 Jags offense.
Sure, for sure. So when you have that and you're Cam Newton, what could you do? You could say, well, hey, I have nobody to throw the ball to. Our running game is pedestrian at best, and I'm doing the best with what I have. And then what does Bill Belichick and the organization do? They give him more weapons. They go after guys like Jonnu Smith. They go after guys like Hunter Henry. They go after guys like Nelson Aguilar and say, you know what? And instead of saying you're on your back nine, you're a washed-up quarterback, we're going to try to help you out a little more because we're still going to buy into you a little bit. And that's what they've done. Now, granted, they drafted Mac Jones. He's definitely the future. But I think what you have here is a sympathetic relationship where it's like, hey, Cam, we're not asking you to take us, 5 more years to the Super Bowl every single year Tom Brady did. We don't need that. All we need from you is to be a leader and to maybe even be a game manager. Can you do that for us? And I think he's to the point of his career where he can see the writing on the wall. He's in a great culture, and he can say, you know what? I can do that.
We're in a world, and all guilty of it, whether it's the right thing, it's not the right thing, but we're all guilty of stereotyping and optics and kind of trying to figure out who everybody is without knowing anybody. And you try to be really careful of that. But the bottom line is, like, the marriage of Cam Newton and Bill Belichick just doesn't seem right. I mean, it just doesn't seem right, you know? Yeah. I mean, you look at it, you look at a guy in a hoodie, and then you look at a guy in scarves and hats and all this stuff, and you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah. But
he might be a very good thing for Mac Jones, is my point.
But keep in mind,
wild.
Any guy that can wrangle in Gronkowski and get his best football after what Gronk has done, I mean, it goes to show you what Belichick's all about.
Well, yeah, but I think this is less Belichick and more Cam. I guess that's where my compliment goes to. Like, I think there's just this maturity about him, and I think at this time, you know, even Chad Henne had this pissiness to him because he felt like he should be starting. He can still be a starter. Now he's obviously said, hey, you know what? I'm a backup QB. But when he was in Jacksonville, he didn't look the part. He was getting his second chance, didn't get it done. But you could sense, great guy. But you could sense there was that, I'm better than this guy, but I just haven't proven it. Cam feels like a sense of peace. So he's still the starting quarterback for
sure.
So.
See, but I think his whole personality changed once he got to New England, and he saw how they do it there. Yeah. And he realized that, you know, the sum is greater than the parts, if you will. And I think he realized that, and that's where the attitude change came from.
Yeah, it's a good thing for Mac Jones, I think. Hey, the NFL might have made a boo-boo, and it involves the Jags and the Saints and something I said a little earlier. We'll talk about it on ESPN 690 next.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. If it wasn't for football, I may have never made it through college. Whether it was classes going to that didn't really apply to what I wanted to do, whether it was taking unnecessary tests, some things with college just didn't make sense to me. The standard 4-year university, it's just not for everybody. So that's where my friends at J-Tech come in. If you're looking for a school that offers the kind of hands-on essential career training that can move you and your future in the right direction, you need to call my friends at J-Tech right now. Their only job is to give you the necessary skills and tools to make you an essential employee in whatever field you choose. Fields like automotive, diesel, HVAC, marine and RV, and transportation. And keep in mind, up to 84% of their graduates are employed in their field of choice right after graduation. J-Tech is now enrolling new students for their up-and-coming fall term that starts September 27th. So what are you waiting for? Call 904-483-9460. That's 904-483-9460 and schedule a visit on campus today. Ask for Hank and tell him Austin sent you.
Where else can you get lunchin', brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the South Side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Lunchin', brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the South Side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class.
As a business owner, time wasted is money lost.
Ugh, I have to call Dave. That's like 10 numbers.
Who has time for that? You should boop Dave instead.
Dave's married.
Push to Talk is back from Peak PTT, and with a boop, you can get in touch with Dave. One boop. Peak PTT sends your phones programmed, charged, and ready to go right out of the box. You can boop Dave, boop Paul, boop Sheila.
Yeah, I could see booping Sheila.
Nationwide. Then you can boop the heck out of Dave.
I said Sheila.
Connect immediately, every time. BoopToTalk.com.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Here in the Sunshine State, more than 3 million men are over age 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Brown. If you're having problems in the bedroom and pills like Viagra have let you down, you'll see results at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your exam is free. And it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. Guaranteed results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217.
It's time for some straight talk. We've all been there. You have some real work to do, but the free Wi-Fi where you're working isn't going to cut it. It's like leaving the winning runner stranded on third base. Not good. Well, now you can be your own hotspot with Straight Talk's Ultimate Unlimited plan. Get 10 gigs of hotspot data for just $55 a month. All on America's largest, most dependable networks. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Compatible device required? See straighttalk.com.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still, because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Today, Nashville Predators prospect Luke Prokop became the first active player under NHL contract to come out as gay, told ESPN's Emily Kaplan. He struggled last season, wanted to come out publicly because he believes he can then bring his whole self to the rink and improve his chances of fulfilling his NHL dreams. As his Suns face a must-win in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Bucks, Coach Monty Williams' message is do whatever it takes to force a Game 7. Trailing 3-2, it's only the second time this postseason Phoenix is down in a series. It'll be tough for the Suns to deny the Bucks a title-clinching victory, considering how Milwaukee's playing, notes First Take co-host Stephen A. Smith.
The fact that they've played and engaged in bully ball, that they've attacked Phoenix's depth. And then you combine that with the fact that Middleton has closed and Holiday has opened. He opens up, he's aggressive at the start of the games in terms of his perimeter shots and trying to make things happen, clearly trying to make things happen on the defensive end of the floor.
Game 6 tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ABC.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Jameis Winston, we know we had a year with him. He was fantastic as a leader. Man, he's got tremendous arm talent. He's a young prospect that we like a lot.
Is that Sean Payton?
You say young?
I was like, that's an interesting...
was this at the Combine back in whatever 2000?
That's like a really interesting comment
13,
on a guy who's been playing in the league for 6 years or 5 years or whatever it is.
I thought the same thing, but I was like, eh?
Yeah. It was like somebody coming out of like high school kind of comment.
Was he talking about Justin Fields at the Combine, or was that Jameis Winston we're talking about? Interesting.
Is Jameis Winston going to be the guy, or is it going to be Taysom Hill? It's obviously probably one of those two. They didn't make them.
Well, yeah. You probably see a combination of both, you would think, huh?
Well, you'll still see it, but, Taysom Hill wants – he said so many big things about Taysom Hill. Mm-hmm. But is Jameis going to wrestle that thought out of Sean Payton's mind and even Taysom Hill's mind? Taysom Hill will play in some capacity. Heck, they're paying him $16 million a year or whatever they are to pay him.
Yeah, it's more than special teams there, sir.
So he'll play in that role. I mean, listen, if Drew Brees had to get off the field, Jameis Winston will get off the field for Taysom Hill.
Because keep in mind, Jameis isn't the most mobile guy out there. So, yeah, I agree with you. So, yeah, I mean, I think when we're talking about the starter, I think that's Jameis Winston's job to lose.
You do.
I really do. But I think when we're talking about, how many plays a game will Taysom Hill get, I mean, I think we're looking at least, 8 or 9, maybe even 10, under center taking snaps.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Do you think the Saints fall off big time without Brees?
It's going to be a huge difference, I think. Yeah, because with Taysom Hill, you have the dual threat guy, so you got to watch out for that. And he's got a decent arm, don't get me wrong. I think with Jameis Winston, the guy can put up some offensive numbers, but the turnover factor's there as well. I mean, what made the Saints the past, it seems like, 6-7 years, was the fact that you had one of the best run games in the NFL, but you also had one of the best receiving, guys with Michael Thomas, and you had Drew Brees, who at the time was playing at a still pretty high level. Like, are you going to run it? You're going to pass it. Like, it was hard to game plan for the Saints because they're so dynamic. With losing Drew Brees now and Jameis Winston under center, you're going to lose some of that, the ability to be dynamic. And you're going to have to rely a little more on your running game. You can stack the box a little more until Jameis Winston proves you wrong. So I think it will look different this year.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot. The whole dynamic will change without Brees. And where obviously a good quarterback play can help that and help that transition. But it's going to feel a lot different in New Orleans, no doubt. All right, speaking of the Saints, this is why we got on the Saints. So I told you earlier in the show, right? I said, hey, if the Jags joint practice with anybody, it'll be the Saints. Yeah. At least that's where the conversations were headed. Last I had heard. Well, the NFL 345, what is the NFL? The NFL has so many different. It's an NFL communications department. So that's so their communication department says over the next 8 days, NFL rookies and veterans will be reporting for training camp. See the reporting dates for each club, as well as the 15 joint practices scheduled across the league. So they show a graphic with all these different joint practices.
All right, we got joint practices.
And the Jaguars are on the list in Metairie, Louisiana. That's home of the New Orleans Saints.
There you go.
On August 20th and 21st, which would lead into the Monday night game.
Cool.
In New Orleans.
Cool.
So
case closed.
Well, that's what the NFL says. Well, the Jags are not confirming that. And Mike Triplett, who covers the Saints, does a good job covering the Saints.
Okay.
Says, actually, this information appears to be incorrect. The Saints do not have any joint practices scheduled for training camp at this time.
Okay.
So
now
I don't know. So here's the I haven't got a complete answer yet. And so Mike Triplett's tweet and my inability to get a complete answer has me wondering two different things. Okay, so I know that the Jags and the Saints had some talks about it. That's obvious. They put it on a damn graphic, for crying out loud.
Sure.
I'm wondering did the NFL communications department just mess up and put this out there even though it wasn't supposed to be out there yet because contracts weren't signed?
And here's the alternative.
And so now they're asking Triplett and everybody else to be like, hey, we didn't say that. It's not true.
Yep.
Like, this is not confirmed.
Tell them the alternative, though.
Well, the alternative is
here we go.
It's not happening.
Well, okay, I thought you were going to go a different direction. I thought it was, okay. I thought
I disappointed you. I'm sorry.
You really did. Because I thought what you're going to go say was the Saints said absolutely not, and there was miscommunication with the Jaguars saying that there was going to be a joint practice because the Jaguars haven't confirmed it yet.
Yeah.
The Saints have clearly confirmed there is no joint practice.
Well, I don't know if they've clearly confirmed.
Okay,
Mike Triplett, who covers the Saints, and I'm going to tell you, this is where my interpretation comes in. He says, he retweets that. Yeah. Again, the NFL did this about 38 minutes ago, and it was like 5 minutes after I mentioned it.
Yeah,
right. That they came out with it, and Triplett says again, this is Mike Triplett who covers the New Orleans Saints for ESPN, and Mike DeRocco actually had tweeted this.
Yes,
who covers the Jags?
Literally 5 minutes after we talked about it.
Yes,
maybe he's listening to the show. Who knows?
and so they all saw this graphic come out from the NFL communications department. Well, Triplett says, actually, the information appears to be incorrect. The Saints do not have any joint practices scheduled for training camp at this time. And, well, now I just got this in. can confirm we are not doing joint practices with New Orleans this year. They are not doing it. So that's it. I just got it. So I don't have to interpret anymore. The Jags are not practicing with New Orleans.
That was a fun 7 minutes right there.
I'm just giving you real time what's going on in my life.
Yeah, but now let's be honest. Information was leaked that wasn't right, and someone has to answer for it.
They
and
forgot to take them off the graphic.
Oh,
it's basically what they did is they forgot to take them off the graphic.
Someone's getting fired.
Yeah,
oh, no.
They obviously had talked about it, right?
Sure.
And they either just said, hey, it's not the right time for whatever reason. There's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
This isn't I don't want
Jags players are rejoicing right now, by the way, finding this out, celebrating, popping bottles on the beach, if you will.
They were
what
like
do you mean
New
you
Orleans
don't
for
know?
a couple of days on a Friday, Saturday,
in the
Sunday.
middle of where? Where New Orleans is this at?
That's Metairie. It's not that far
it's
from
in Metairie. What does Metairie bring on the table? It ain't New Orleans. You ain't going on Bourbon Street. You're in Metairie. So, yeah, Brent, they're popping bottles and rejoicing right now.
So that's pretty wild. I mean, that is like real-time stuff that just happened over the last 45 minutes.
Wild.
So they obviously had conversations,
Yeah.
and we'd heard that, and I just told you at the top of the show. I mean, ironically, before this even came up, we were talking about it, and I know that they had conversations with the Saints, but nothing was official at the time. And something fell through there. Logistically, they just didn't think it could work. And there's a lot of logistics that go into it. It could simply be we scheduled our days off to be here and there versus we want to go hard this day versus this day. It can really be that, or it could be logistics now given the COVID stuff, although other teams seemingly are doing it. There's a lot that
Sean
goes into
Payton
it.
may not like Urban Meyer. Doesn't like all the hype. Is it taking attention off Sean Payton?
Maybe Urban beat him in a golf game.
Now
over
we're
the
talking.
Summer. I mean,
See?
I don't know.
A lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities. But hey, the hunt, because I know you guys are done now making that thing. Welcome to the hunt season 2. Brent Martin, Austin Lane, Casey pushing all the right buttons, man. We're breaking news on this show. Take you behind the scenes.
That is wild. So I know I love your reaction to it. Players rejoice because you really don't believe the players like this at all.
Where is it again? What is it called?
It's Metairie.
Yeah.
Brent,
no one's
Casey will help
planning.
us out. Metairie is not that far, if I'm not mistaken. It's probably, I'm going to guess, Casey's looking it up. I'm going to say it's like 35 minutes outside of New Orleans. It's been a while since I lived in Louisiana.
And how do you spell that? Like just
Metaire, I believe.
Yeah, I got that French Canadian. Okay, there we go. Metairie, there we go. Yeah.
French Canadian.
Whatever it is.
Put an EAU X on it.
Population 143,000.
It looks like they have a nice shopping center, and the picture on Google is somebody's front yard with Christmas lights.
Yeah, there you go. So have fun going to Joe's Crab Shack. It's going to be a real great time to get away from football. No one's going to Metairie. Brent, the players
You
are
didn't
rejoicing
answer my
right
question.
now. No,
How far
they're
is it from
rejoicing.
Bourbon Street?
Okay.
That's my point. So the media's not. We could have got 3 days in New Orleans.
It is 18 minutes, 7.4 miles.
It's
traffic.
only 18 minutes, man.
Traffic?
Well, I told you about 35 minutes.
Depending what time it is, could be an hour.
That is not bad.
For you, to be a player, you're not going to Bourbon Street. This is your selfishness coming through here. You wanted to have a whole little planned out sign. You want to see the joint practice. You want to go on Bourbon Street, get some beads, all that stuff. Don't lie.
To be honest, I've been to Bourbon Street in New Orleans so many times. It's like I really enjoy New Orleans. It's a great place.
Great food, great music.
I actually rather go now. The food is unbelievable in New Orleans.
Yes.
But I'd rather go now to like the French Quarter area and other parts that you don't often hear about that are so good. I mean, you hear about them enough, but everybody's like Bourbon Street. I'm like 44 now.
No, I'm
not saying
with
44-year-olds can't go to Bourbon Street, but I've been there enough.
There's tons of 44-year-olds on Bourbon Street, by the way.
I've been there enough.
Yeah,
so now you go to the little outskirt areas, and there's a lot of cool places in New Orleans.
No, I agree with you.
The food is good.
Bourbon Street's like obviously that place never sleeps. It's for like if you're on spring break, it's Bourbon Street. But if you're a little more of a cultured adult like you and I are, then yeah, we're going to French Quarter, listen to some great music at noon, maybe have a brewski. But yeah, we're not going to the Bourbon Street the whole time.
Listen, I've told you my story about Bourbon Street, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. I've got many stories about Bourbon Street.
Talking about the one where the family's trying to reach you.
No, that one, yes. That was when Ty got hit by a firework.
That's
and that was
right.
on New Year's Eve on Bourbon Street. That probably wasn't the best dad moment. Ty's okay. He played good defense this week. Firework doesn't seem to have slowed him down.
Good.
You just skimmed past that pretty quick.
Yeah.
I know Austin knows
I told the story quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
There's a better story. The better story is like it's the best live shot I've ever done on TV in my entire life.
I haven't heard this one.
So we're there, probably the same. I think it was the same Sugar Bowl Gators 2009. That would have been. So we're trying to find a spot to go live from for TV, and so of course you want the Bourbon Street scene, but we don't want to be down on the scene because you never know what's going to go on behind you, right?
Sure.
And so we somehow I had this connection to somebody who gives me a name of a business on Bourbon Street and asks if we can use the balcony.
Which
and
is
he's like,
a big deal because they're hard to come by.
Yes. And this, by the way, wasn't the New Year's Eve part. It was like maybe a day before, so it was like the 30th or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, can we use the balcony just to do like a 6 o'clock live shot or something? Be kind of cool. And like, yeah. Well, we have no idea the business or anything like that. So we show up.
I know where this is going.
It's a strip club. So we are like paraded through the gentleman's club.
Yeah.
Camera, tripod, microphone, walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
Out to the balcony, doing a live shot.
Yeah.
It's like the greatest place ever to do a live shot.
Here's what I don't get though: how many dirty looks did you get walking? Because it's like
I know we're kind of like
for Dateline, strip clubs.
Yes.
What you don't see, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the greatest live shot location ever.
Oh man!
And it wasn't like. Then you got Bourbon Street in the background, which essentially is like a gentleman's club.
It is
at
a
times,
gentleman's club for sure.
You better be careful.
Yeah.
So that was pretty
nicely
wild.
done.
Yeah. I got plenty of stories from New Orleans.
I guess you do.
I think everybody does.
I don't remember most of them, but yeah.
Let's get to the line. Steven, it's been a long time. Steven just had to ask for the number. That's how long it's been.
Oh, wow.
What's up?
Yeah. Hey, how you guys doing, man? It's been a while.
Did you move to a tunnel?
No, I did not.
Is it windy where you are?
Oh, no, I'm just driving on the road.
I got you.
Good deal. What's up, man?
Hey, not too much. I wanted to ask you guys, what was your opinion on The Hunt episode 4? I mean, Urban was pretty inspirational on that, and you can tell people why they're buying in. I mean, Brandon Linder says he's, with all these new treatments, feeling better than he's ever felt. And the guys seem to buy in. And listening to that, hearing how Urban's talking to these guys, I mean, it's no wonder why they're buying in.
Yeah, Steven, hey, good to hear from you, man. Hope you've been well and appreciate the call. 904-362-9901 here, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We're going to give away some Green Day tickets, Weezer, Fall Out Boy. I got all that right?
Nicely done.
Yeah. Weezer
Top
used to
40
play
Brent.
Weezer used to play in the country radio, college
careful
radio
now.
station.
Yep, there you
Sorry,
go. There you
college,
go.
not country.
There you go.
And Fall Out Boy, of course, I'd play under like their most recent, or that one hit that they have.
Yeah.
What is that under like
we're waiting.
Highlights of the kids playing ball?
Okay.
What is that? Dang it.
They got more than one good song. You're going to need more than
No,
that.
they got the one big one, though, like the kids like.
Now, once again, this is the sports side, so I can say this. Careful about how you say they have more than one good song. No. But you're talking about Light 'Em Up.
Yes.
So Light 'Em Up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not the name of it, though, is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but that's the song. And Green Day's
for
got
more of those
plenty.
hot takes, listen to me on the morning.
Yeah, Green Day is also my college radio station.
Green Day's been
Played
around for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, but they were big when I was
I bet
DJing at the college radio station.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Did you take requests or did you just play whatever you wanted? If people call in and say, "Hey,
Ashland,
can you play?"
Ohio.
Okay,
they might have been listening to the country station.
I got you.
And we weren't that. 88.9 The Eagle, baby.
There you go.
That's what it was. Anyway, we'll give away some tickets in a couple minutes for that. It's still there.
So do you think if you walk back, is your plaque on the wall or something?
No,
kind of like when you go in the press box in Jacksonville. And,
no, my plaque's not in either place. Actually,
I know. I'm trying to make that happen for you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Got another like 15 years, perhaps. So anyway, Steven brought up the Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't see, you can check it out on Jaguars.com. They do a great job with it. And that was filmed, obviously, when they left they broke for camp. Mm-hmm. But he brings up a really interesting point. We think the buy-in here in Jacksonville is really strong. Mm-hmm. But the question he kind of asks is, like, why? Like, why? That's my interpretation of what Steven was saying. It's like, okay, why is the buy-in so strong? Why is there so much belief right now in Urban Meyer? Well, it's a young football team, and I think they do know who Urban Meyer is. They respect what he did in the college game. While we kind of all say, hey, can he translate it to the NFL? I don't think they're asking those same questions. I think he takes care of the player. What has he said since day one? The player.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if the guy's taking care of you, You kind of feel good about that. Now, they haven't had training camp yet, so be ready. They haven't lost a game yet, so be ready. I'm not saying it's always going to be this great, but I think Stephen brought up a really good point. If you go to a gym, say you want to go on a diet or get in shape, and you go to a place and you start feeling good and you're eating right, but they're kind of the vehicle that's helping you. You could have gone to 5 different places, but they're the vehicle that's helping you. You're like, you believe in that. You're like, hey, man, I like coming to see you. I feel good about myself. I've lost 10 pounds, put on some muscle. Like, I feel pretty good. Mm-hmm. Well, I do think this strength and conditioning stuff with the DJ Charks and now Linder's talking about, other players are saying they're doing things a little different. I feel as good as I felt if I'm Linder in the last 8 years or Chark in the last few years. That will get people buying in if you feel good about yourself and feel like you're about to have a big year.
Oh, without a doubt. That's what players want more than anything. It's to feel taken care of and to feel appreciated. And I think that's some of the stuff that Urban Meyer has brought here now with, bringing the new strength and conditioning stuff in, the new meal prep stuff in, all of that, is under the same umbrella. But what I think doesn't get talked about enough with Urban Meyer, and I admit myself, I haven't talked about it a lot. Like, what's been the whole thing from all the haters out there? I want to talk about Urban Meyer and how he's going to fail in Jacksonville. What do they always say? Well, it's not the college game.
Yeah.
It's different here in the NFL.
That's all they've got, really.
Yeah, I remember Rex Ryan echoed that to start things off, but then it kind of transpired from there. Now everyone's taking part in that narrative. More power to him. But, what I think we kind of neglect sometimes is what happens if he can bring a college locker room and that atmosphere and that brotherhood and that camaraderie, bring that brotherhood into an NFL locker room. Because I played in both. Now, granted, it's Murray State. It was smaller level. But, I get the feeling that most college locker rooms out there are a lot more close and tight-knit than NFL locker rooms. Simply because you're on the same age. You don't really have wife and kids yet. You go to class together. You go to parties together. You play video games together. Whatever the case may be, you're always around with each other. So you can always relate to each other. When you get to the pros, it's different. Locker rooms are drastically different because now you have guys that, maybe are faith-based. Maybe you have some guys that like to go party. You have guys that have kids, guys that are single, you name it. It's the locker room is made up of it. But I feel like if Urban Meyer can bring that college-like atmosphere, that that camaraderie to an NFL locker room, that's only going to help things. And what I picked up from, the final chapter or whatever of The Hunt was that's kind of what I think he's trying to do here. Mm-hmm. And the guys are kind of echoing that a little bit, where it's like there hasn't been any big scenes outside of, when training camp broke or mini camp broke. No one's been getting in trouble. You see guys working out together. You see guys interacting on social media together. Guys seem to be enjoying each other's company. Not to say we haven't seen that in the past, but it's almost to the point now where it's like they're really trying to make it known that they're getting along together. That's that college atmosphere. That's that college feel. Now, yeah, it's one of the youngest teams in the NFL, so you should expect that a little bit. But I think Urban Meyer is trying to drive that home to the nth degree, and I think in doing that, it's only going to have positive results for that locker room down the line.
Listen, I think the college resume says this about Urban Meyer. He is a legendary culture builder. Mm-hmm. He is that good at it, at all the stops he's been. He could go to your workplace, our workplace, doesn't have to know anything about it, but he could get a collection of people probably inspired and motivated, working together and feeling pretty good. He doesn't have to do that just in a football setting. That's where he is very good. Very good. And he's good at football and all this other stuff. But he's excellent at that. And that's what this phase is. He's done that now for 5 or 6 months. And he's had it easy in this respect. When you lose, and the guys that have been here have lost, what are you? Super hungry to not have that happen again.
Sure.
You're coming off 1-15, man. I will reach and buy into almost anything if you tell me I'm not going to be 1-15 again. Mm-hmm. And so here's a guy that's already good at it. And he's got these guys just waiting to give me something to jump onto, cling onto. So I think the combination of that works.
I got a question I want you to marinate on for the break here. If Urban Meyer has success right away, maybe he wins 8 or 9 games, that means the culture has changed around, the players are playing for him. Are we going to see a run then on college coaches in the future?
That's a good call. Let's talk about it when we come back. We're going to give away some tickets right now, though. Green Day, Weezer, Fall Out Boy, July 31st at the bank.
The Rock
number
Trinity.
3 right now, 904-362-9901. Give Casey a call, 904-362-9901. Win a pair of tickets right now on ESPN 690. We'll be back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690. A 6 on the weather meter for this Monday with scattered showers and storms popping along and west of I-95. These will be impacting the Jax Metro through the evening commute. An isolated lingering shower tonight, mostly cloudy, most neighborhoods dry out, low 73 degrees. Partly cloudy Tuesday, more showers and storms, high 89. Then partly cloudy, scattered afternoon storms Wednesday, high 91. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Stemma.
The weather meter is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save up to 40% off with Christmas and July savings now through the 25th.
Do you consistently outperform your peers? Do you enjoy setting challenging goals and then exceeding them? And do you want a job where you can determine the size of your paycheck? If so, you could be suited for a career in advertising with Cox Media Group. Because we're searching for self-motivated professionals to join the advertising sales team in our North Florida office. This media consultant position requires an outgoing, confident, and driven person who'll seek out business owners in North Florida and help grow their businesses with innovative marketing solutions. The ideal candidate will have a basic knowledge of both traditional and digital advertising. Cox Media Group Jacksonville offers a team environment based on excellence and customer-focused selling with unlimited earning potential, the best benefits in the industry, ongoing training, and advancement opportunities in markets nationwide. To apply for the media consultant position, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com. Or call 245-8732, 245-8732.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. If it wasn't for football, I may have never made it through college. Whether it was classes going to that didn't really apply to what I wanted to do, whether it was taking unnecessary tests, some things with college just didn't make sense to me. The standard 4-year university, it's just not for everybody. So that's where my friends at J-Tech come in. If you're looking for a school that offers the kind of hands-on essential career training that can move you and your future in the right direction, you need to call my friends at J-Tech right now. Their only job is to give you the necessary skills and tools to make you an essential employee in whatever field you choose. Fields like automotive, diesel, HVAC, marine and RV, and transportation. And keep in mind, up to 84% of their graduates are employed in their field of choice right after graduation. J-Tech is now enrolling new students for their up-and-coming fall term that starts September 27th. So what are you waiting for? Call 904-483-9460. That's 904-483-9460 and schedule a visit on campus today. Ask for Hank and tell him Austin sent you.
As a business owner, time wasted is money lost.
Ugh, I have to call Dave. That's like 10 numbers.
Who has time for that? You should boop Dave instead.
Dave's married.
Push to Talk is back from Peak PTT, and with a boop, you can get in touch with Dave. One boop. Peak PTT sends your phones programmed, charged, and ready to go right out of the box. You can boop Dave, boop Paul, boop Sheila.
Yeah, I could see booping Sheila.
Nationwide. Then you can boop the heck out of Dave.
I said Sheila.
Connect immediately, every time. BoopToTalk.com.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
It's an event so huge, it even includes pre-owned. That's right, the Big One sales event is back, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. With over 300 pre-owned available, Arlington is the place to shop the Big One event. Even better, you have 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. And with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, almost everyone is approved. Plus, Arlington will give you top dollar for your trade. Shop the Big One sales event in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, it is not your fault. Hubbard House is here for you. You are not alone. Hubbard House provides free services and emergency shelter to survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties. Call 904-354-3114 anytime, 24/7 to confidentially speak to a caring advocate.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Yeah! Goodbye! Wow! Guerrero Jr. has doubled the lead.
Vlad, I was thinking about you.
Oh, I was thinking about you too over this break. Ohtani. I mean, man, relax.
Oh, all Ohtani did was do something that nobody's ever done. I mean, and the guy still failed in some people's eyes.
Yeah.
It was crazy watching the home run derby because I didn't think he was going to hit 5 home runs. All of a sudden, he actually tied. And he should have really won. Like, his last 15 seconds, he didn't hit a home run, like, either round.
Yeah.
And so he really could have advanced, even though he started so poorly. There are times, I've seen this, who was it? Was it Chris DeMarco? It might not be DeMarco. Sorry, Chris, for saying that. I feel like it was I remember the back of over the green at the Masters when he was about to win one year. This wasn't the Tiger year, I don't think, that he went head-to-head with. But again, I think I'm wrong. I don't know if it's DeMarco. Bottom line is, you could see whoever it was, the golfer, on a Sunday in a tense situation, like his hands were like shaking almost.
Yeah.
Like you could see the stress level. You don't see that in sports very much, like where you can actually see the stress on an athlete. Well, I felt like Ohtani that night. You could see it. He was after his 4th swing, his head started to go back. Like, do you remember watching it?
Yeah.
And he was like, put his head back.
Yep.
And he was like, he basically was saying to himself, am I ever going to hit one?
I thought he was going to pull something on his neck because at the end he was like swinging like literally for the fences, pun intended.
But
yeah.
I thought it was wild how much pressure was on him. And I don't think we fully understand how much pressure can be on the Japanese athlete.
Yeah.
Because the amount of media that covers them. Hideki Matsuyama in golf. We saw it with Hideki Matsui with the Yankees. I covered the Yankees at the amount of Japanese media. I think you go all the way back to like Hideo Nomo. And it's amazing how much Japanese media comes over to cover it, how it travels. Like, it's wild.
But it's just insane from the developments that led up to that moment as well, because that's when Stephen A. Smith spoke his piece.
Absolutely.
Now, regardless of what you think about Stephen A. Smith, he has a huge following.
Yeah.
And whatever he says, it's going to get retweeted, it's going to get reposted, and everyone will be talking about what Stephen A. Smith says. It was the topic.
On a dead sports day.
Yeah, exactly. and obviously, he wasn't the kindest in the beginning to Ohtani.
Yeah.
You know, and now, regardless of what you think about Stephen A. Smith, like, I couldn't disagree with Stephen A. Smith more. I think Ohtani is fantastic for the game of baseball. Yes, I crack jokes sometimes. I need Vlad Jr. to win MVP over Brett Martineau's guy, Ohtani. But you're foolish and you're naive if you don't think that he is a star in the sport of Major League Baseball, regardless if the guy can speak English, and which, by the way, he can speak English, or if he can't speak English. Like, the guy is a global superstar, no ands, ifs, buts about it.
Yeah, it was a wild scene. And then he came back, and so that was cool. And then he didn't win. And it was all right. Like, it was all right that he didn't win.
Yeah, well, and then the whole Mike Trout thing, calling him on the cell phone, and he kind of got his groove a little bit. That was cool.
And Pete Alonso, I mean, it was not going to relive the home run derby or anything, but it's pretty wild. And then Vlad, it was a good time for baseball. The home run derby continues to be this excellent exhibition, and then Vlad, one of these young stars in the game, delivers on the big stage, and the American League wins again. All that story. Nobody really cares. I still don't think people care about that part. Yeah. But to have your superstar guys in the spotlight is something the NBA has done a really good job of. The NFL has fallen into, they have so many stars, and the quarterback's a star, that most of the time we get that star in the big game in some way, shape, or form. And Major League Baseball, sometimes you can and sometimes you don't. But they did on that couple of days, and that was big. So now we get the second half of the year. Your Brewers are in first.
Oh, yeah. Feeling good about it. Real quick about the All-Star Game, though. Did you see Tatis's chain?
Oh, yeah, you said that. So I did see it. I did not know at the time until you actually told me that it was worth $200,000.
$200,000. wearing it during an All-Star game.
That's nothing on Wilder's got nothing on him.
But here's the thing, though. Wilder's not fighting with that chain on.
That's true.
Tatis is playing baseball. And I get it. It's not the most physical sport, but you're still doing an activity with a $200,000 chain on. So I kind of went down this rabbit hole a little bit in terms of, like, what else does he rock in terms of sway? Because let's be honest, in terms of the new school baseball player, Tatis is that guy.
Yeah.
Do you think that doesn't get really talked about a lot? Because we talk about the NBA, you know, and you have your own sneakers and things like that. But is there any more sport than Major League Baseball where you can kind of just be yourself, set aside and playing for the Yankees, of course, but where you can rock your chains, you can wear earrings, you can, you know, have your hair however you want it. Once again, not playing for the Yankees, though, set aside from that. But, like, I feel like in terms of individuality, is there any other sport more than baseball? I mean, I know basketball could be up there a close second, but I think it's baseball.
Mainstream, maybe not. I mean, it's really tough. Obviously, in football and hockey, you have so much gear on, right?
Correct.
So
well, and there's also like a uniform policy in football where you know you get fined if you.
And some people are willing to go outside of it now with the cleats and stuff and get fined. So that's your individuality on it.
Yeah.
And now the NFL obviously has a day for it. The NBA, I feel like almost the individuality in the NBA, because you have so much skin showing, is your tattoos.
Good point.
Right?
Good point.
And Dennis Rodman made it as the hair.
Yeah.
But
he had the tattoos. Allen Iverson with the tattoos
But the tattoos
as well.
have been a thing in the NBA. Like it feels like it started in the NBA, like in my sports world mind.
Sure.
You know? And that's because, well, that's the most visible. You know? Tennis players wear shorts in like a polo shirt or whatever they wear now. I mean, they used to wear a polo shirt, but they didn't have tattoos, even though you could see their skin, you know?
Sure.
So it's not like they started it.
Yeah.
You know, I will say this, though, about tennis. Like Serena and Venus Williams made fashion very much a part of individuality. So
Tiger did with golf a little bit, I feel
Tiger
like.
really changed
Ricky
the
Fowler
look
did
of
to
golf.
a point.
Yeah, Tiger changed kind of that look of golf, and they continue to do it. Like, you know, listen, golf-wise, I still to this day kind of look at, if you don't have a collar on, it looks kind of strange to me.
Sure.
But that's okay. Like, you know, the mock kind of look Tiger wore made cool. Now it's like less of a mock and more of like just a no collar with a button down, which is like almost more a cool sporty shirt. That's okay. You've got, I forget the name of the golfer, but wears the joggers.
Well, I was going to say Bryson DeChambeau rocking the...
Eric Van Rooyen's been wearing joggers a lot.
Yeah, that's who it is, Van Rooyen. Yep. So anyway, you have a little bit of that going on in golf. But I guess your point, I feel like Acuna, which it's awful that he's gone now for the year, but I think Acuna wears a bunch of chains as well, right?
But it's not even the chains. I mean, it is the chains definitely, but it's also just the way you wear your hat.
True.
You know, I mean, like, think about it. Nothing.
Now.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of a uniform, there's nothing more important than a baseball hat. Some guys, some guys curve it. Some guys rock it straight.
It's not cool anymore. They changed a whole generation. Of like people. They don't wear a hat like I do. I mean, they wear, and I hate it. I hate the flat bill hat, but I don't understand it. But that's like what they don't even know like a hat's supposed to curve.
Yeah,
the kids now.
Do you remember Fernando Rodney with the Rays? He had a flat bill hat. Austin, you might not know.
Off to the side.
And it was like over here. Like there would be games where it's literally on the side of his head.
Yeah.
But he was probably like, he might not have been the first, but he was one of the first. And he pitched, and he was really good for a couple of seasons.
He almost won the Cy Young as a closer with the Rays.
And I think before that, was he good with the Rangers? He wasn't? Was it the Rays?
He was okay with the Tigers. He was okay with the Angels. And then he came to the Rays, and like everybody does, he was incredible. But he was like incredible. Lowest ERA in a single season.
He might have had like 50-something saves like that season.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, I'm sure he got some grief at times, but that started like,
that's
who he
not
was, abnormal now, right? It's
yeah.
like, even if a guy's not wearing his hat like totally straight in baseball, that didn't happen before. And now it's like, whatever. But I think, I've said this before about baseball. Baseball right now has adapted to this new age of what you would call individuality, what I would call a little bit of swag and style. And people have gravitated toward it and acknowledged it and accepted it way quicker than I thought they would, especially inside the game. Now, you might still get the old baseball guy that's like, I can't believe he's bat flipping or whatever. But I even hear less of that. I don't hear a lot of that. I don't see, like, my father-in-law is 87. He watches the Reds every night. And I don't hear him griping about that when he talks baseball. I don't. Now, maybe he doesn't like it because it's just so new and different from what he grew up on and the game was for, like, the first 80 years of his life. But I really don't see the players policing themselves. When's the last time you saw somebody police each other in baseball and throw at him?
Well, Acuna keeps, not anymore, but the
Acuna
Marlins kept hitting him.
Yeah,
but
I get that. And even like the last blow up with the Marlins, I don't think was intentional at all. I didn't think so. Part of these guys wear all this stuff on the plate. They're going to get hit because they have the armor on, and they're right on top of the plate. Yeah. You have to do it if you're a pitcher to some degree. But my bottom line is baseball has accepted this individuality, this swag, this style way quicker than I really thought they would. And that's awesome. Like, I think it's good for the youth, especially, to see that, and it's okay. And I'm telling you, I watch it at the younger levels. Sure. You see it. You see a single and a bat flip. A single. Okay, listen. If we single, let's not bat flip. All right?
My best baseball moment of all time, I bat flipped. I got hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. It's pretty great.
Oh, you bat flipped after getting hit? Well, I mean, take one for the team.
But that doesn't happen anymore is my point. You would not get hit by pitch.
I got
you said you got hit by pitch.
And I bat flipped because we scored a run.
You got hit by pitch after you bat flipped. Now, because even 10 years ago, definitely, maybe even 5 years ago, you bat flip on a single, you probably get hit by a pitch the next time up.
Yeah.
Not like at 12-year-old baseball, but probably at like 17-year-old baseball. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't happen anymore.
It's
which is fine.
No, for me, though, it's just something to keep an eye on because, and I get it, people want to say baseball is a dying sport and the rating, whatever the case may be, but I think the saving grace could be the individuality, could be the swag, as you call it, where, kids that are growing up now watching Tatis and watching Vlad Jr. and watching Ohtani. I mean, even Ohtani, I get Ohtani, he's not from this country, but the guy's got some swag to him. Number one, he's built like you wouldn't believe. The guy's huge.
He looks like, at times looks like the Terminator. The baseball version of the Terminator.
Yes.
He looks so big. Yeah. He didn't look like that to me like 2 years ago.
But I think like that could be the saving grace of getting new types of players, new eyes on the sport of baseball is the individuality and just the swag of it all. Because, I mean, there was a time, Michael Jordan was a big name, but you know why he's a big name? Because he had the shoes along with it, shoes are a big deal in terms of basketball. Swag is a big deal in football sometimes, but you can only have so much without the NFL governing it. I feel like the MLB is a little more liberal in terms of how they monitor what players can wear and how they can present themselves.
So what you're telling me is I got to get Ty a chain.
Get him a chain.
100%.
Ty money.
Ty goes out there with like
Ty money.
chains on.
Ty money.
Just get him a $sign chain.
There you go. Ty money. Now, does he have his ears pierced? Let's get his ears pierced as well.
We'll work on it.
Let's go to Claire's right after the show. Get those ears pierced, and let's get it done.
At least we're not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hey, but in case you're listening, Claire's is a great spot to get some earrings, in case you're wondering.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Claire's,
if you're trying to swag up on the baseball diamond,
make it Claire's.
Go get a fake diamond. We'll be back. I got to answer your question, by the way. Yes, a good question about Urban Meyer. Yeah. We'll answer it on the other side when we come back. It's good to be back here on ESPN 690.
It's Monday. I'm Casey Kurtz. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp dropped the series finale in a rain-shortened game on Sunday, 6-3. The Shrimp are back in Duval on Tuesday, taking on the Nashville Sounds. The Sounds are the Milwaukee Brewers AAA club and only visit Jacksonville once this season. Remember, you can hear the Shrimp all season long on ESPN 690 Radio and our Facebook, ESPN 690 Jax. Colin Morikawa won his second major championship at the Open on Sunday. Morikawa is the second player to win both the Open and the PGA Championship before turning 25 years old. The first was Tiger Woods. The end of the Open marks a run of 7 major championships in 11 months on the PGA Tour. It started last August at Harding Park with the PGA Championship, an event also won by Morikawa. This SportsCenter update sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The Max Kellerman Show.
There was no one there like, hey, where's that guy we just hired? He just stopped showing up suddenly 15 years ago. So he got away with it, 650 G's. And now he's being sued. I don't know. You can't just not show up for work, but if he's not like doing anything fraudulent and they're just sending him the checks, I mean, why wouldn't he just deposit it in his account?
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Hey, boss. So I've been reading all these stories about the ding-dong doorbell cameras sharing internet with neighbors.
Yeah?
What if we figured out how to hack into the network we could have access to all kinds of personal information.
Are you serious? That is not what we do. We look for houses without safe touch security, and we break in when no one's home. Full stop, end of story.
But boss, these ding-dong doorbell cameras is a goldmine of data.
Listen, Porchop, we gotta stay in our lane. Let someone else do the hacking. We are good old-fashioned burglars. Got it?
Got it.
Speaking of which, have you found any more houses without safe touch?
Yep. Believe it or not, there's still plenty out there.
Well, be glad for that, because we still gotta stick to the Crooks of Rust golden rule. Stay away from safe touch houses. And stay in our own lane.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Anyone can talk like they're a big dog, but few actually walk the talk. We're not the only plumbing company claiming same-day water heater service. In fact, a lot of customers have called us after other companies failed to come through on their same-day service talk. Fortunately, Griffin Service delivers. We eat big dogs for lunch. And we fix what others can't. Some of that's knowing the science, engineering, and craft of AC and plumbing better than the Bubbas, but it's also better planning. The key to actually doing same-day water heater replacement is having water heaters in stock and ready to go. And that's what we do. Gas, electric, tank, tankless, we got them all in stock and ready to roll for you. So if you want to avoid the bait and switch turd bucket tactics of the Bubbas, or if you discover you're in the middle of an all talk, no walk situation with a wannabe, well, you know who to call, right?
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250-697.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. If it wasn't for football, I may have never made it through college. Whether it was classes going to that didn't really apply to what I wanted to do, whether it was taking unnecessary tests, some things with college just didn't make sense to me. The standard 4-year university, it's just not for everybody. So that's where my friends at J-Tech come in. If you're looking for a school that offers the kind of hands-on essential career training that can move you and your future in the right direction, you need to call my friends at J-Tech right now. Their only job is to give you the necessary skills and tools to make you an essential employee in whatever field you choose. Fields like automotive, diesel, HVAC, marine and RV, and transportation. And keep in mind, up to 84% of their graduates are employed in their field of choice right after graduation. J-Tech is now enrolling new students for their up-and-coming fall term that starts September 27th. So what are you waiting for? Call 904-483-9460. That's 904-483-9460 and schedule a visit on campus today. Ask for Hank and tell him Austin sent you.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
How hard can it be to find a Python pro?
Sam's startup had a front-end developer walk out the back door. He needs a new software engineer, stat.
What do you mean they just quit? We go live in 72 hours.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Hello Mega Tour is coming to TIAA Bank Field on July 31st, and ESPN 690 has 2 chances for you to win tickets to see Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer. Listen to Action Sports Jax all this week at 4:15 for your first chance, and your second chance is to register on the contest page on ESPN690.com.
Hey, welcome back back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We haven't said that in a couple of weeks. Welcome aboard to Casey. If you're just jumping in, Casey, our new producer, part of the team. More than a producer, folks. Whatever that means.
Podcaster.
Did a great job of getting the show ready. We're going to do some golf picks along the way just for Austin. I think he's asked for that.
Yeah.
So we will get into that.
Gotta do.
It's fight week for Austin Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday night in Orlando. Do we know if we'll be able to stream that, see that?
There will be a pay-per-view link, yes.
Okay, so I have to pay for it.
You have to pay for it. Sorry, man, I can give you like a password you can get it for free.
I paid last time.
I appreciate that. You sent me the video, too.
I did.
Yeah, so I appreciate that.
You're right.
Yeah.
There's not like a website that I can use that doesn't take my credit card?
You mean like an illegally streamed? You know what, Casey? Talk to me off the air about it, and we'll go over it.
Listen, Austin gets a part of the pay-per-view buys. I mean, he's not giving you any.
Have you seen the contract? You sure about that? Have you seen the contract?
I'll pay.
I wish.
We'll pay to watch. Wish we could be there. I'll be in Atlanta. One last tournament, so.
It's all right, man. You're going to be there in spirit, and that's all I need.
Do you believe, really seriously, we've been doing this show, and I haven't been able to even be in a fight yet.
You haven't been able to hold the ice bucket.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, Orlando, Tallahassee.
Yes.
You did
South
one
Carolina.
on Players Weekend, which was kind of tough.
Dallas.
That was like the first one.
Yeah, that was rough with Dallas.
South Carolina. You really only fought twice around here, I think. Was it, or just the once at the Morocco Shrine?
No, I only fought
Shrine.
once at the Morocco Shrine.
That was the Players Weekend.
And that was the Players. But then also Players Week was the one in Dallas as well.
Yes,
because then I came in on that Monday. Yeah.
That's the thing that impresses me the most about Austin. He comes in like the next day.
Oh, for sure.
Well, it's actually like 2 days later, but still, you get my point. You know?
Yeah.
We should do like a behind the scenes. Like we go with him. We record the whole thing on the plane, in the locker room.
Here's the
knocking
thing,
some dude out.
I think that's good. Like it's a good idea. Again, the schedules haven't even matched up for me to watch. Never mind go follow him for 2 days. But I do think it's a good idea. Here's my sense.
Yeah.
Is that
get the sense, Brent?
This guy doesn't want that.
Brent knows me.
Like
Brent knows me.
I don't get the sense that Austin like wants that. Like some
Brent
guys
knows me.
want that. Like if I fought, I'd probably want that. Quite frankly.
Sure.
Like,
sure,
hey, follow
sure.
me around. Take
Check
pictures.
This out. Yeah.
Watch me knock this guy out.
Yep.
Oh, I want every moment captured.
Yep.
I don't think that's the way he rolls.
And this is why we're co-hosts, man.
Yeah.
Because we know each other. Brent's absolutely right. It's not like I don't want the attention, because that'd be great, you know, like a little like a documentary team and everything. But it's really weird. Like when I get to the venue and we're probably like 3 or 4 days out from the fight, I just get really like narrow focused, and then like I don't concern myself with like the outside world. Like even like if my family comes to watch, like I won't hang out with my family at all. You see them, it's like I got a job to do. I'll do the job. When that job is done, then I'll talk to you after the fight, and then we can hang out and everything. But like before that, it's just my focus, and I'm very narrow minded.
Yeah,
like that.
and I get the sense of that, and that's good. Like again, I said it in the show. I kind of joked about it earlier, but it's like you got to be patient in that world.
Yes,
because you can plan a fight, then the fight gets delayed a few weeks, or it gets canceled, then you find a new fight. But at the end of the day, you're only fighting every 3 or 4 months anyway.
Well, and the crazy thing too is you have to be ready at all times, because sometimes that opportunity can come a knocking on short notice, and then you got to show up. You know, I mean, we talked about a guy by the name of Preston Parsons, a guy who I've trained with a couple times. He had a UFC debut this past Saturday on 2 weeks' notice. Dude showed up and did his thing. Unfortunately, didn't win it, but like super proud of that guy.
Yeah, his dad had reached out to us on Facebook and mentioned him, and I honestly didn't know much about him.
Yeah,
and then. Eating dinner on Saturday. We're watching the Bucks game outside. There are a couple of TVs, and they had UFC fight on, and I saw Stewart tweeting about it anyway.
Yeah.
But we were right there at that time, and so we watched the fight, and I started. That's why I was texting you about us, and you know him, and you've sparred with him a little bit.
All the time. Yeah.
He really does look the part.
Yes.
He got eye damage.
Yes.
That changed the fight, because I don't know if he was technically winning, but he was certainly holding his own in the first few minutes of that fight.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me, actually, of the one fight you had where you got
the
cracked right above the eye.
the brow.
And it wasn't even anything crazy, but it changes everything.
As far as optics, didn't look good for the optics.
It didn't, but even to the officials.
Yes.
Now, this Parsons really tried to fight through this thing. Like, I thought he was collecting himself.
Yeah.
I was like, I actually told Ty, I was like, all right, he's done. I mean, he just can't even see out of his eye for some reason. And you kind of told me he might have got almost like poked in the eye by a knuckle,
yeah,
right?
So he got knuckled. So, first of all, and keep in mind, this guy's 26 years old. So he's got plenty of years ahead of him. I mean, he's got a heck of a career ahead of him.
Game.
It's very young in the fight game. So he's going to be fine, man. He went on the biggest stage. He said what's up to Duval. Couldn't be more proud of him. Yeah, referring to what happened in that fight with him, I think, and I haven't talked to him since that fight, but what I think happened is when he got punched, like how gloves, they have the knuckle part, right?
Yeah.
So your knuckles go in there. Well, he actually got a knuckle to the eyeball. And essentially that's like getting poked in the eye, but it's legal.
Surprised it doesn't happen more.
It's a great shot. It's a right-on punch, and it's rare to hit that exact area. But I think he got a knuckle in the eye. And when that happens, I mean, yeah, your vision is compromised. You can't see out of one eye. Now try to imagine, gather yourself. You can't see out of one eye, or maybe you see two of everything. It can be a stressful situation. So he tried to fight through it. Unfortunately, couldn't do it. The guy that he fought was a monster in itself, but more power to Preston Parsons.
Yeah, so he has how much will he backslide off that? Or would you think he'll get another opportunity because that was a short notice fight?
So usually how it works in the UFC, and once again, I'm not sure how this contract worked, but if you sign a short notice fight, they usually give you a fight after that.
Okay.
So whether it's a 2 or 3 fight deal, because he did them a favor, because the guy that he was fighting in Rodriguez, he's
legit.
He's
legit.
I've heard of him. Yeah, he's good.
He's legit.
He's very legit. Yeah. So Parsons really did him a favor. Parsons could have said, you know what? This guy's a killer. I'm not going to get in the cage right now. I'm just going to mind my time. I'll get there eventually. He accepted the challenge. He accepted the risk, and I think he's going to get compensated for that with another fight, with a full fight camp this time.
Now, honestly, I didn't know much about him until his dad reached out.
Sure.
And then this whole thing came. Are there more guys like Parsons, or is Parsons obviously you're doing it, he's doing it. I'm talking that at the higher levels, or have a chance to make it to the higher levels. You train with a lot of these guys.
Of course.
It's an underground world in a lot of ways, right? Until you pop up on ESPN when I'm in Lake Mary watching you.
Yeah.
Eating nachos. And you're yelling Duval. Or I see you on TV and then 5 months later asking if you want to be on radio.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's an underground world in a lot of respects. So you're a part of this world.
Yeah.
Is there talent in Jacksonville that could pop?
There's definitely, let's just say there's a storm a-coming.
Really?
There's a lot of young talent that I train with personally at our gym. There's guys from various gyms who are from Jacksonville who train at other gyms now. And whether it's striking or jiu-jitsu, there's some of the best guys in Florida and some of the best guys in the Southeast. The only thing that's going against them right now is the experience factor, where they need to get a couple more fights. Preston at the time, I believe, was 9-2, so he had 11 fights underneath his belt. I mean, that's perfect. The UFC sees that. He's experienced. He's got over 10 fights. Let's give this guy a chance. The guys that I'm referring to, they maybe have 3 or 4 or 5 fights. But believe me when I say they're coming. And I think it's a matter of maybe 2, 3, or 4 years at the most where there's going to be a hotbed of MMA fighters making a name for themselves here in Jacksonville.
That's interesting.
I truly believe that.
Well, it's not surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, there's talent. This is a talent-rich area.
Mm-hmm.
You'll watch the Olympics, you'll see it in swimming. I see it all the time in baseball, and we know it in football and 5 stars and all these people that come from Jacksonville. So it's no surprise. I mean, it's such a talent-rich area in golf and tennis and every sport you want to name. Yeah. And so it wouldn't surprise me. But you just don't hear it every day. You don't know. It's not like we follow those guys. They're not fighting MMA in high school and in college. It's just a different world.
Yeah, there's no 5-star recruit MMA fighters.
There isn't.
No, there's not.
And it's even a ranking system is probably very hard to follow.
It's kind of political. Yeah, but it's political. I mean, you can't go by that.
I do have a Conor McGregor question for you coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, and I'll answer your question. Back to football at 5 coming up. A little more Jalen Ramsey talk. And Austin asked a good question. Urban Meyer, if this does work, will we see a run on college coaches to the NFL? We talk about it coming up on ESPN 690.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
As a business owner, time wasted is money lost.
Ugh, I have to call Dave. That's like 10 numbers.
Who has time for that? You should boop Dave instead.
Dave's married.
Push to Talk is back from Peak PTT, and with a boop, you can get in touch with Dave. One boop. Peak PTT sends your phones programmed, charged, and ready to go right out of the box. You can boop Dave, boop Paul, boop Sheila.
Yeah, I could see booping Sheila.
Nationwide. Then you can boop the heck out of Dave.
I said Sheila.
Connect immediately, every time. BoopToTalk.com.
Today's athletes deserve more than a sports drink. With potassium-packed electrolytes, no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes, Body Armor Sports Drink provides hard-working hydration and more. Stock up on Body Armor Sports Drink at your local Circle K, where Body Armor 28-ounce are 2 for $4 with the option to add one more for $1 at the register.
Children who've been abused, neglected, or have serious emotional issues need a comforting place to heal. Daniel offers them residential treatment with intensive therapy, but needs your help in furnishing one of the children's cottages. Please help Daniel raise $150,000 in 150 days to furnish their future. Every new bed or dresser helps create an environment of hope and healing for local kids in crisis. Donate at danielkids.org.
The big one is back. It's time for the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. And Arlington's got over 700 new Toyotas available. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles, and Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. Arlington will even give you top dollar for your trade. Shop the Big One, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/big one for full details.
Here in the Sunshine State, more than 3 million men are over age 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Brown. If you're having problems in the bedroom and pills like Viagra have let you down, you'll see results at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your exam is free. And it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. Guaranteed results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217.
The COVID-19 vaccine is an important choice for people at higher risk of COVID-19 complications because of diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart conditions. Getting back to life. It's up to you. A message from the American Heart Association.
By now, you've heard all of our ads. America's largest injury law firm. But what does that really mean for our clients, for you? It means that when you hire us, you don't just get a lawyer, you get a legal army, almost 800 lawyers alone. Your case is a big deal to us. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey everybody, it's Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Major League Baseball suspended Mets manager Luis Rojas for 2 games for arguing with umpires in yesterday's game. He'll begin to serve his suspension tonight when New York plays at Cincinnati. Packers training camp opens 1 week from tomorrow, and the big question is still, will Aaron Rodgers report? With what we've heard from the Green Bay quarterback the last few weeks, do not expect him to be at camp on day one, says ESPN's Louis Riddick.
The last comment that he made, which was, I'm going to start getting ready for training camp. I'm going to, think about things, start getting ready for training camp, and then we'll just kind of let it play itself out. I mean, it's mid-July, man, and he's just talking about he's going to start getting ready for training camp and football season. I don't think Aaron's in any hurry to report to training camp on time.
Louis Riddick on the Max Kellerman Show. Today at SEC Media Days, Commissioner Greg Sankey announcing 6 of the league's 14 football teams have reached 80% vaccinations. The vaccination threshold for COVID-19 restrictions to be eased is 85%. So with vaccinations lagging, COVID forfeits will be on the table for the SEC.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Hey, we call it Football at 5. Jalen Ramsey had some interesting comments and kind of broke down the meeting with the Jags brass after the Texans game, which left me with a couple of questions about the Jags brass and about Jalen Ramsey. So we'll get to that in just a couple of moments. We got a great question from Austin. We were talking about Urban Meyer and the culture and the buy-in here in Jacksonville a little bit ago, and I've hesitated to answer this question because we got talking about some other things in the meantime. But the question Austin has out there, if Urban Meyer has success here in the NFL, which so many people have questioned, like that's a knock, right? Can he have success? Can he win in the college game and the NFL game? It's different, all this stuff. Well, if he does, will we see a run on college coaches coming up based on what Urban Meyer has done? Going to answer that in a moment. But we were just talking MMA, and I want to just ask you one quick thing. Conor McGregor loses.
Yeah.
I did not tweet this because I was like, this might be a bad tweet. But I'm kind of like I'm the MMA fan.
Yep.
That Conor McGregor makes me watch. Right. That's why Conor McGregor is so big. He talks. You wait to see what he's going to do.
Yes.
Well, I'm getting to the point where I'm over Conor McGregor because I'm not sure he's any good.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well,
and by the way,
fair.
that's way too dramatic.
It's
of course
harsh,
he's
but
good.
it's fair.
Of course he's good.
Yeah.
But these guys. Now you're talking a couple fights in a row, and every time it's like one round and something happens. Like, why am I building up my Saturday night? Why am I going to spend my money when it's usually disappointment? And how many times can you do that before there's just nothing left to it? Keep in mind, that's a little bit what happened with Rousey.
Correct.
And now this is different because this isn't like 15 minutes of fame. Not that Rousey was longer than that too, but she was so big. Yeah. But she was so big because she was so good. She loses and boom, quick dive. Yes. Are we about to see the dive of Conor McGregor?
I mean, it's a legitimate question. And I got to remember, from a diehard fan like I am, well, of course not. It's Conor McGregor. But looking from the casual lenses here, I don't think he's done yet. And the reason is this. Is regardless of how many times Ric Flair lost a championship, you always tuned in to watch him again because he was that entertaining. And after that fight went down, nobody was talking about how great Dustin Poirier looked in that fight. By the way, he did. I think if Conor doesn't even hurt his leg, I think Poirier knocks him out in the second round.
Yeah, I think that's where it was going.
It was an absolute masterclass by Poirier. He had McGregor regardless, I think. At the same time, though, when that fight was over, and I think it was Herb Dean waved it off, we weren't talking about how good Dustin Poirier looked. What were we talking about? We're talking about a broken leg from Conor McGregor, and we're talking about what Conor McGregor said about Dustin Poirier's wife. Now, did Conor McGregor cross the line? Yeah, I don't think you ever have to bring up family members in the cage. I mean, I get trying to hype up a fight and everything, but, to a point, I think you crossed the line. But at the same time, that's what makes Conor McGregor. Because nobody was talking about Dustin Poirier. They're talking about, I can't believe McGregor said this. He's losing his mind. He just lost. He's talking about his family. Who says that? I can't believe it. It would be the same thing if the Iron Sheik was talking about the United States of America and grilling them. Conor McGregor knows the end game.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes, he's worried about legacy, but Conor McGregor is in the business of making money and sports entertainment. And even when he went down with a broken leg and Joe Rogan's literally in his face right after the fight and he's sitting down because the guy can't stand up, his leg just shattered, he's still putting on a performance.
Yeah.
He's still talking smack. He's saying, let's run it back in the parking lot. Let's run it back. That's not who Conor McGregor is, I don't think. I think it's gotten to the point now where it's become a character.
Yeah.
Now, whether you buy into that character or not, that's on you. But you said, it's getting old, it's getting stale. But at the same time now, we have an evolution of Conor McGregor where it's I want to see this guy get knocked out now. It's almost like the Floyd Mayweather effect, where if you're talking about someone's family, because Dustin Poirier is the all-around good guy. He's the face. Conor McGregor has turned into like the anti-hero / heel now. He still has his fan base. He still has guys that will always be his supporters. But now more and more people are tuning in to see, I'm sick of this guy. Why can't he go away? But guess what? If you're sick of somebody, you'll still find a way to watch them try to get knocked out again.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a very good point. It's a good explanation of it, and I think you're right. And I thought about that a little bit, too. Like, he's playing that entertainment card so well that the MMA loves him. I mean, UFC loves him for it.
Eat it all up.
They love it. I mean, he's selling more and more and more stuff by doing that, and I think you're right. I guess this isn't wrestling.
True.
Right? And there's a separation.
But it's sports entertainment still.
It is sports entertainment. And so I guess where's the line, and when does the line come where you have to still perform at a high level if you're going to talk the talk?
Yeah.
This is the McGregor walk. Where's the walk?
No,
right?
for sure.
Brady can't even walk right now.
Yeah,
Quite frankly, this is what he said. There's no swearing in here, right? First day for real, Casey? Okay.
We're chilling.
Get the drop
Get
button
that
ready.
dump button ready. I was going to say, get that button ready just in case something
This
snuck
is
through.
what McGregor said after the game, and it was, well, I guess pure entertainment.
Was not one of them my chest. Your voice is in me DMs, hey baby. Hit me back on my chest later on. We'll be at the party, the win noise club, baby.
Yeah, I think I said after the game, after the match. McGregor, there is something to McGregor that, and part of it, by the way, at least for Americans, is the accent and everything.
Sure.
I mean, quite frankly, you need an interpreter.
Yes.
He speaks such with heavy. I mean, they
Dialect.
did. Like, did you see? Well, the dialect is so strong that they actually, if you watch it on like Twitter, they actually had people like transcribing it.
Yes.
It was wild to see that.
Sure.
And so I think that's part of the attraction of McGregor. I mean, it's the beard, it's the air, it's the good guy, bad guy. You're right. He's taken on like a wrestling persona where he's done the Hulk Hogan heel turn almost in a way. I do wonder, even in this sport, he's got to win again. Like, he's got to go get a W somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Hulk Hogan, or you name your Ric Flair, he eventually won. Right?
No, without a doubt. No, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong. Yeah, you can only get away with this for so long before it gets stale, no matter what you say. But if you look at what he's been able to accomplish in his career, Brent, and the resume, being a double champion, really putting the sports entertainment era on the map, if you will, in the UFC. You know, like, listen, the guy's lost what? I think he's lost his last 3 or 4. He's lost 4 out of his last 5. Like, anybody else does that, you turn the channel, or like you don't care about the main card anymore. But like, I get this sense, and once again, I think I'm speaking more from a diehard perspective. I think a lot of casual there will agree with me. I still get the sense that people are still going to tune in to watch him. Now, will he be the main event? More than likely, or a co-main event, whatever the case may be. But to me, he is still must-see TV just because of how he presents the attraction. Now, is that what you want to be known for? Probably not. Right? Because when we talk about the Mount Rushmore of MMA, he's not on that list. Like, in terms of overall and entertainment, yeah. Because look at how much money he's made. Definitely. But if you want to go for skill, well, you got John Jones. Then you got Khabib. You got guys like that. But the complete package will always be Conor McGregor because he was the outlier. He did things differently. I still think he has the stock built up where he can get away with maybe 1 or 2 or more of these performances. Hopefully he doesn't break his leg again, where it's going to be okay. But eventually, it will be stale, and eventually the show will run its course, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
He's got to be careful he's not more known for whiskey sooner or later.
For sure.
But on this show, we like tequila, and that's one hell of a segue to the happy hour horn.
The good vibes.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
It's a celebration.
Vida de Luis Tequila. Check them out, VitaDeLuis.com, where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis Tequila, locally owned, right here in Jax Beach, all the way from Tequila, Mexico. And Yeho, Reposado, Blanco, 3 different flavors. Find out where you can get a bottle, VitaDeLuis.com. All right, you asked this question. It's time to answer it. Football at 5. If Urban Meyer wins big, do we see this run on college coaches in the next hiring phase?
Yeah.
If you look at the reason why people wonder if Urban can win big, And you're talking about questioning one of the all-time winners in college sports. This guy has been unbelievable, third all-time winning percentage at the college level. He's been terrific. But they still question it because the trend has been it's a hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. Sure, you've got Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll did spend a lot of time in the NFL prior. Urban Meyer has not. You have Jimmy Johnson, won big. That's a good example of it. Mm-hmm. But you have plenty of other examples where it has not worked from the college game to the NFL. So you asked me the question, so I'll answer it.
Yes.
If Urban Meyer wins, yes is the answer to that. Mm-hmm. Clearly, yes. Mm-hmm. Now, I think the NFL would have to be a little bit careful because Urban's a different beast here. He's 56, 57 years old. He's been through a lot of different things. He's at an age where he can maybe make this transition because of some of the things he's gone through in the past, even in the college game. Plus, he was out of the game, so he really studied the NFL. He said that countless times. He studied how it would work. This isn't a guy that all of a sudden is saying, all right, let's give this a try. Mm-hmm. In college basketball, when Rick Pitino did that, didn't work. John Calipari did that. It felt like it was like, I won here. Let's see if I can win here. This was well thought out by Urban Meyer. It's like, if I get back in, I'm going to try this. I think I need this. I'm going to go in this kind of situation. This was well planned by Urban. I'm not sure everybody will have the luxury of that, I guess is my point. And so I think there will be a run to go get a Lincoln Riley. Yes. But I'm not sure there wouldn't have been a run to go get Lincoln Riley, even without Urban. Kingsbury might even be a better example of this. Like if he can win in Arizona and having a not so great record in the college game, is he a better example of why teams would go get the college coach?
Maybe Matt Rule, if he has success in Carolina.
And that's another one. Good. Yeah. So we've got a few examples of it right now. And by the way, 3 very different coaches in my estimation. Mm-hmm. 3 really different resumes and coaches at different stages of their lives, too.
Sure.
So I think there's a lot to digest. It'll be very interesting to see which one works out because Kyler Murray and all the goods they have in Arizona, Kingsbury's set up to do it. Rule is kind of building that thing.
Yes.
And now Urban's doing the same thing, but he's got Trevor.
Yeah. Well, it's a good point because they all have in common. Like, they're all coming from, the college ranks. But when they got to the respective NFL teams, they're in the dumpster. They were 1, 2, 3 win seasons for each of those respective teams. So, and you're absolutely right. They have gone about it different ways. I mean, I remember Kingsbury, I think it was his first, second year. Remember he had like social media time, whatever the case was.
Yes,
like
he did.
Okay, that's different than maybe a Bill Belichick ran practice or a John Harbaugh ran practice. I'm not really sure what Matt Rule in terms of his style exactly, but you get the sense that it's more of that culture building, more of that new school, I think, flair a little bit.
Well, I think it's a mix. I think he's a big mix guy. He feels a little old school football to me.
But maybe he's surrounded himself with younger guys, like as coordinators.
Yeah,
because you have the guy from LSU
that's
as
the
coordinator.
Brady.
Brady. Yeah. But I think what this is going to prove more than anything is that if this works with Urban Meyer, and once again, you take a team that was in the bottom of the barrel, 1-win season, you bring him in, he turns things around right away, I think you are going to see a go then on more football players, like you said, whether it's Lincoln Riley, maybe like a Pat Fitzgerald. From Northwestern.
Yep.
I think he's kind of made it clear he doesn't want to do that, but like he gets
you keep coming after those guys.
But you get the
James
sense.
Franklin.
Yeah, James Franklin, Matt Campbell from Iowa State is a hot name.
But see, the interesting thing about this conversation is those names have been kind of sprinkled about. I mean, if you look at some of these jobs, Dan Campbell, like Joe Judge to the Giants. I mean, those I would have thought Campbell at Iowa State would have been in Detroit before Dan Campbell would be in Detroit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and maybe they would have rather had him, but they knew he wasn't leaving or tried to get him, wasn't leaving. Mm-hmm. I would think the Lincoln Rileys of the world might be in New York before Joe Judge would be in New York.
True.
So you never know, first of all, how much they tried. And Riley just signed a big deal again at Oklahoma, which those contracts mean nothing anyway. But it's not like people haven't tried it. And now they've tried it already. With Kingsbury, they've tried it again with Rule, and now here Urban is. I don't know if there's a good person in college football right now to equate to Urban at 56, 57 years old. And by the way, you're not going to Bob Stoops would be the best because he's now been out of the game.
True.
Right? So Stoops is the best example of that. But it doesn't feel like he wants back in or is going to do that.
Brian Kelly's older.
Kelly's a little bit older, but hasn't
But
had
like
the
he hasn't had
success that
success.
Urban
No,
has.
I mean,
And
no
he's
one
not-
really has had the success of Urban Meyer.
Urban's such a different story. One, because he is so successful in the college level.
Yeah.
And he's been out of it and was doing TV for a bit. Like, that is a different story than so many. So, but I think the simple answer to your question is yes. It's a trendy league. So I think people will go find somebody that looks like Urban or has a resume that kind of fits the Urban model. Maybe catches a 10-year younger Urban Meyer, you know? But it will be, and Matt Rule the same way, and Kingsbury the same way. Listen, Kingsbury's the most interesting hire. Because
the resume was the smallest
at Texas Tech. I mean, it was
Patrick
bizarre.
Mahomes.
Yeah,
it
was bizarre. There's plenty of things to criticize about Kingsbury, and let's be honest, he plays in one tough division. I think they could be a very, you know how I feel. I think they'd be a very good football team and still finish in the basement. I really do. I think they could be a strong football team that might be good enough to win like almost any other division and still finish last in that division. That's how good that division could be. But if he falls on his face in terms of 4 wins or 5 wins or something like that, well, he's done. I mean, because he's been set up beautifully. He's got all the star power. They've got everything they want on offense, right?
Yes.
I mean, they have a ton of tools to work around Kyler Murray. So this is a huge year for Kingsbury. He's interesting just because I don't think many people would take that risk of a guy who hasn't won much in college and bring him into the NFL. You're going to go more of the Rule or Urban Meyer way if this does work for those guys.
No, for sure. Obviously, it was the offensive visionary of what, drew the Cardinals to Kingsbury in the first place. And I get what you're saying where, he is set up for success right now. If you can't coach that team to win 8 or 9 games, then what are you even doing? But at the same time, keep in mind, he was the guy that built the machine in the beginning to set him up for success because they had a guy by the name of Josh Rosen, who was a former first-round pick. And against maybe a lot of people saying, well, hey, let's see what Josh Rosen's got here. We just picked him first. He wasn't first overall, but whatever he was taken overall in the first round. Like, let's give this guy a chance. What did Kingsbury say? Nah, we're all good.
Get him out of here.
Let's get Kyler Murray in the show and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, that had to be directly from Kingsbury. That could be taken as a risk a little bit. Now, he got his guy in Kyler Murray, and, it was ESPN the desert last year a little bit, so we know how Kyler Murray was doing compared to Daniel Jones. It is what it is. But, at least he's set himself up for success. Yes, he still has to follow through with it, but he's put himself here by taking guys like Kyler Murray and believing in what he thinks is going to run the offense.
Yeah. What's funny is the Rule probably took the most peculiar. He was the most peculiar guy to say yes to the NFL job. He had it cooking at Baylor.
Yeah.
Right? He had turned down some gigs. I'm pretty sure the Giants, where he had, I believe, had been an assistant in the past.
Yeah, he had connections there for sure.
And so I'm convinced the reason he took, not the sole reason, but the thing that sold him is when they said, hey, we're giving you 8 years. I'm pretty sure it was an 8-year contract. Maybe it was 7.
Yes.
But they were like, this isn't your normal 3 or 4 year deal. I think that's where he kind of changed the game. And that's where a culture builder at the collegiate level says, all right, I can take my time doing this. We need to do some things. We're not going to have Cam Newton. We're going to have to go figure the quarterback out. This might take 2 or 3 years to get the roster that I want, almost like you would be doing in a college job where you have to reshuffle that roster, and it takes a couple of years of scholarships and recruiting and all the rest. Well, we'll see if that works out. But I think the lure for Rule to get to Carolina was the length of the contract. And I think now that length of the contract has kind of become a little bit of a standard. I think Urban Meyer's contract, we still don't really even know the details of that thing. I believe it's got to be over 5 years. That's probably a 6-year deal or 7-year deal and all that stuff. But I think that's the way to do it now. And so if you're a college guy, will you be willing to jump if somebody's going to give you time?
Well, and that's the biggest thing. Because if you're a college coach, odds are that you're having great success at the college level then. Unless you're Cliff Kingsbury, then what it is.
And you're making a ton of money.
Exactly. And usually if you're a great college coach and you're doing your thing, you only make more money. I mean, I think you're only more safe with your job. Like Ryan Day, for instance, at Ohio State. You haven't won the big one yet, but you're pretty safe right now at Ohio State. You're not going anywhere. If you want to stay at Ohio State, you'll stay at Ohio
he's
State.
Another one
Now, if you want to go to the league, if the offer's sweet enough that the juice is worth the squeeze, then go to the NFL. But I guess that's the point where these contracts now, and Matt Rule kind of led off with this, is where they have to be so enticing. They have to be so, we are committed to you past 1, 2, or 3 or 4 years. We know this is going to be a while to turn around, but we believe in you. Here's our offer. That's what college coaches now are looking for because they're coming from places where it's cozy, man. Like where you have it made. Like Lincoln Riley can stay in Oklahoma for the next probably 10 years the way that guy recruits the quarterback position.
I mean, what Matt Rule did with the Baylor program to get them where they were, if he stayed there, they would have built a statue of him.
Sure.
I mean, after all the messes they had, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, so, yeah, to jump, you have to do that. What's interesting about the length of a contract like that gets a rule over there, in my opinion, or might become the new standard, this is a 3 or 4 year job. That's a 3 or 4 year gig, most of the places in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll ever see these. Well, you could sign a 7-year contract in New York if you want, or Philadelphia if you want, but if you don't win, you're out after 3 and we'll just foot the bill.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to have they don't have the patience in some of the places. Will Carolina have the patience with Rule? It looks like they will. They kind of understand what they're doing, but it's got to show some results sooner or later. I think Kingsbury's under the most pressure right now because of all the stuff they've got in terms of players.
Well, and that's the risk that you're going to run if you're an owner. Do you bring in the college guy, offer him probably a longer deal than you would if you bring an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator from the NFL already, where it's maybe like a 3 or 4 year deal where you have to win right now? I think expectations are always more for the coordinators to win right away as opposed to the college coaches who maybe give a little more leeway.
Yeah.
Depends who you're talking to.
Yeah, it's got to be. Look at Carolina. They thought probably need to gut it. They had new ownership.
Yeah.
Jacksonville needs to gut and start all over, kind of. Arizona kind of felt a little bit of the same way, and they were willing to take a risk of this new wave look, including social media time during meetings. We will be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. You can follow us on social media. Listen to the show on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and more, including ESPN690.com. Jalen Ramsey, what went down in Houston to, really ignite his exit from Jacksonville? Interesting conversation when we come back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A 6 on the weather meter for this Monday with scattered showers and storms popping along and west of I-95. These will be impacting the Jax Metro through the evening commute. An isolated lingering shower tonight, mostly cloudy, most neighborhoods dry out, low 73 degrees. Partly cloudy Tuesday, more showers and storms, high 89. Then partly cloudy, scattered afternoon storms Wednesday, high 91. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The weather meter is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save up to 40% off with Christmas and July savings now through the 25th.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still. Because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
Trade Pros. Ferguson is committed to making business with us the easiest part of your day. Ferguson.com is designed to help run your business from the office to the job site by making your day-to-day activities easier with 24/7 account access, unmatched online inventory, and on-the-go account management. And with our Pro Plus customer loyalty program, you can earn points with every online purchase, redeemable for merchandise, event tickets, trips, and more. Sign up today at Ferguson.com.
We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com.
In the 40 years of Beards Diamonds history, this has never been done before.
Christmas in July.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 40% off.
Yes, 40% off.
Santa may be on vacation, but the elves at Beards Diamonds are busy, marking everything down. All GIA certified loose diamonds, all designer settings, pendants, bracelets, earrings, engagement rings.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to 40% off.
For 4 decades, families have been shopping at Beards Diamonds for the absolute lowest prices. Now to say thank you.
Everything in the store is discounted up to 40% off.
Nobody beats Beards Diamonds prices.
If you're popping the question soon, celebrating a big anniversary, or even shopping early for the holidays, now you can go even bigger and save thousands.
Shop the largest inventory in North Florida at Never Seen Savings.
But hurry, these savings will only last until July 25th.
Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop. It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY. Where else can you get lunchin', brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Lunch and brunch and booze and specials and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough. And the ones who know we're tougher together. For the pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you. So you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
We solid. We just need that one piece. So we had a draft pick, and we ended up getting a defensive lineman, which cool, whatever, right? But we were solid on the D line. Everybody knows Saxonville was that deal, and then Lamar was still on the board at the time too. Lamar didn't go to like 4 or 5 picks after that. So
that's GM Jalen. Nobody has better. Hey. I want the follow-up to all that should have been, so is Josh Allen trash in hindsight? Is ex-quarterback...
Would you have drafted Josh Allen?
Yeah, I mean, come on, Jalen. Yeah. Jalen's like, it's so funny. Guys like Jalen poke fun at fans and hate the fan stuff, and at the end of the day, he reacts the same way in hindsight to this situation. Mm-hmm. He's like a fan.
Yeah.
Like hindsight's 20/20 kind of look.
Yeah.
Like, you messed this up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what he said.
If Jalen Ramsey was pounding on the table for Lamar Jackson that day, at whatever pick it was, then get him a front office job when he's retired.
Yeah.
Because he saw it before a lot of people did,
I'm trying to think. Now, I will say this. The guy, I will tell you this for sure. The guy that he wanted in 2017.
This is Jalen we're talking
This is
about.
Jalen Ramsey.
Okay.
GM Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen. No, and this is true. I will never forget it. We're at Pro Day at Florida State, and he was there because a lot of the guys come back.
Yep.
Again, this is pre-2000. This is 2017 draft time.
Now, he blocked you, though, so.
Not at this time.
Okay.
Okay. And so Jalen, we're near the, it's kind of like this roped off area near the entrance, and we're just talking to him, not on camera.
Okay.
But he was in love with Deshaun Watson. Like, said, get Deshaun Watson here, we win a Super Bowl.
I think he had some Twitter comments about that, too, with Deshaun Watson.
I will
before
say
he got
that.
drafted.
Now,
Okay.
and he got that one, well, I don't know, about a couple of years later. Who knows what the Deshaun Watson stuff is. But from a talent standpoint,
yes.
Obviously the Jags picked Leonard Fournette, they go forward. But I think it's, at the time, we were like, well, this shows his lack of affinity for Blake Bortles, right? That was the bigger story. Who knows if he's right on Deshaun Watson. But in hindsight, he was, Deshaun Watson, special talent, and they could have done some things.
I don't miss the roulette game that was, will Jalen Ramsey provide a usable soundbite today? I don't miss that.
Yeah.
I kind of love it, actually.
I
see,
do.
because I feel like the non-usable ones are the most usable ones. Because then you kind of prevail like, hey, this is what he gave us.
It was frustrating. It was so frustrating. From my standpoint. Stuart Weber's standpoint, I did not like it.
I always say this about Jalen. He could be very frustrating to cover, but I thought he challenged you, and I'm okay with that. Like you never knew what mood he was going to be in. You never knew
the way
if he asked,
actors who have to work with child actors are challenged. Yes,
in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Draw the best out of the child.
That's true.
And go.
There's a sense of that. But
Shots fired.
He was going to, you thought you had this great question and you answer it, yup. And then you're like, you just throw up whatever question and it'll go on this 2-minute rant and it'll be great.
Yeah.
He's that guy. Like when you're thinking they're asking questions like, hey, what? You seriously went into the Jalen Ramsey huddle in the locker room, be like, what Jalen are we getting today?
Sure.
You seriously would. And I think that's, to be honest with you, we did that at times, not to the degree, in a different way, like with a guy like Maurice Jones-Drew. You didn't know what you were going to get. Are we going to get Mojo talking about Red Aura stuff today? Or are we going to talk Madden video games? Or are we going to get kind of Mad Mojo today? They don't want to talk to us.
I got you. No, I got you.
Like Calais Campbell, you knew what you were getting every single time.
Yeah. No, listen,
there's nothing wrong with that either.
Nothing wrong with that either. But yeah, if you gotta stay on your toes, that's all part of the job sometimes.
Yeah, I kind of like
it. Almost makes you want to see like Barbara Walters, like Oprah interview Jalen Ramsey to see all right, ask him about his back and see what he says to you. I want to see how you handle this, Barbara.
He'd know what stage he's on. So
okay,
he would
be. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
He.
I don't know why I said Barbara. She's a good interviewer, right?
She
Staple.
Was, yeah, I think Staple. Very
Staple.
good.
She's a staple. A pillar.
Pillar.
Mount Rushmore.
It's true.
You put her in Mount Rushmore, Barbara? Of interviewers? You got to put her in Mount Rushmore. Brent. Barbara
Probably
Walters?
Would, yeah.
Probably
would.
I actually know who she is. So that's
a good
something
sign.
right there.
No, I think you mentioned Oprah and Barbara Walters. I think that would be pretty. I'm sure she's. I'm not sure she is. If you really got the whole list,
Barbara Walters.
Not sure everybody would agree.
Through. I can't believe you're going to hate on her.
I'll ask.
Is Barbara Walters on the Mount Rushmore of interviewers?
Yeah. She might be.
I think she is.
Of course, we have a younger following. They'll be like Googling,
who is Barbara Walters? That's a good point. No.
Casey? You know who Barbara Walters is?
Spike on the Wikipedia page.
You don't know who Barbara Walters is?
Casey, you kidding me?
Like, I know the name.
Wow.
You
think you know somebody?
You know how he answered that like how I answer movie and music questions.
Yeah, but here
that does sound familiar.
Yeah, but here you are spitting about Green Day today. You're spitting about, Fall Out Boys.
Yeah.
You know a little bit.
That was during Barbara Walters' time, though.
Well, and I feel like, but she's like the Beatles, though. It's like, yeah, you may not be into the Beatles, but you know who the Beatles are. You got to know who Barbara Walters is, dude.
Yeah, you probably should.
Brian Gumble, Barbara Walters. That's
why he's in radio and not in TV anymore.
I guess so. Weber's
joining us. What's up, Weber?
What's happening? How we doing?
Hey, you're over at EWU today.
That is correct. The
Edward
the
Waters
new name.
University.
I bet they have a jar in like the offices.
Yeah.
To where if anyone
Fine jar.
accidentally says EWC.
Well, that'll only happen for the next 3 years.
I know. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, obviously they recently added that master's program and bumped it up to Edward Waters University.
Nice. Is that what got it done?
Yeah, that's what it was offering a master's program to go along with their
Because we used to be like
undergrad stuff.
Ashland. It used to be Ashland College.
Yeah.
Is that
So
like
this is-
the,
I think that's one of the big things. I don't know if it's the only thing.
I'm glad you asked because I didn't want to ask and sound stupid, so I'm glad you did. Because is that all it takes?
You're
is a
Murray
master's?
State University, right?
Of course.
Were you ever Murray State College?
No, because we're the public Ivy League. We've been over this. So are you saying all it takes is really a master's program?
I
bump
believe
you up
that
to
is one of the
university?
key parts of it. That might have been the part they were missing. I know that's what they added, and then they jumped up.
There's probably a few more
There's
stipulations.
probably some
but
other
that
ones.
could be the big one.
Indeed.
Well, the other big news today is we knew they were going D2. Right?
We've known that that's been in their plans for a while. They had gotten preliminary talks with the Southern Intercollegiate Athletics Conference, the SIAC, which was a Division II conference. So when they were talking about joining that conference, it was pretty clear that their plan was to join NCAA Division II. Well, as of today, they are officially NCAA Division II members. So starting in a couple weeks when they hit the football field, they will be a Division II school. Now, as anybody knows about the transition when it comes to college athletics, going from the NAIA to the NCAA, it's going to be a 3-year transition process. And as part of that, I believe early on they won't be able to compete, for national championships or maybe even conference championships. But there'll be that transition process where they go full-time NCAA Division II. It's exciting news. I mean, it's great that they're joining a conference of like-minded schools, geographical schools. They're going to crank up that great rivalry with Savannah State right up the road, as well as the Morehouses, the Tuskegees, the Clark Atlantas, the Albany States, all these schools right here in the Southeast, HBCUs in Division II, and now they're the only NCAA Division II in the state of Florida.
Wow.
So you can let that sink in a little bit as well.
Right on.
In football.
Well, any sport.
Flagler.
HBCU.
Oh, just HBCU.
Just
I didn't hear
HBCUs.
it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was like, wait a minute. It's like only
No.
Division II.
Yeah, only HBCU Division II. So you've got Bethune-Cookman, you got
Okay.
FAMU,
Yes.
and now you've got
Sorry, I
a
missed a very
Division
important
II
element of
option
that.
as far as HBCUs go in the state of Florida.
Yeah, because I was going to say there's a ton of Division IIs. And I
There's
was
quite a
thinking
few,
like,
yeah.
maybe he was thinking football because a lot of they might. First of all, they're the only local college football team we have in Jackson.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're
Also
the only
true.
one. JU doesn't have a program anymore. UNF doesn't have one. Flagler doesn't have one. All the schools, they don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
So Edward Waters is that's an interesting. They got to take advantage of that.
They
first.
did.
I
They
think
did make
should.
that point that so the SIAC is like really high as far as attendance goes for college football games in Division II, and by adding EWC, they want to keep that going. And EWC's got the EWU. See, I need the jar. I need the jar as well to put it in there. I'll just say Edward Waters has the brand new field, which they're going to debut here this fall for football. They did play some soccer games there in the spring, but football home opener August 28th. And away they go. There'll be a Division II school playing home games on campus, which is so cool.
Yeah, that's great.
I remember a few years ago they did homecoming on campus in what was just a grassy field. They transitioned it into a football venue for that one game, and now they have put an artificial turf, a beautiful new stadium on that exact spot. And so homecoming will be on campus, and so much excitement.
Stuart, I don't even know what the regulations are anymore of D2 university, but say like for the football team. Do they give out full scholarships, or is it like a half? Is it like a stipend? How does that work for recruiting athletes?
Sure. I was chatting with Paul Bryan, who's the athletic director for Edward Waters University, and he was really saying as far as scholarships go, they've actually been handing out about the same amount that they'll be able to get now with NCAA Division II. So they were kind of already in line with that.
Interesting.
As far as number of them in full, I could not answer that question for you, but it's certainly higher than what the NAIA allows.
Yeah, I mean, I just
without
remember.
a doubt.
I remember back in the day because Wisconsin doesn't have any D2 schools in terms of football, so I got recruited by a bunch of Minnesota schools, and like some would offer you like 25%, some could offer you like 50% of your tuition, but usually you don't get the full thing. I'm not sure if that rule changed nowadays or not.
There's so much different, even since you were playing and being recruited. But I think it's a really cool deal. I will say this: if you've paid attention to a little bit of what Edward Waters University has done in the last, I'd say 18 months. I don't know if my time frame's right. They have really hit the gas pedal, and they're doing a great job of raising their profile, not just the athletic program, but the university as well. I gave them a shout out on Twitter today, but it's noticeable. Like, they're doing a really good job of elevating themselves in the city, in Northeast Florida. And this certainly does it. Listen, that stuff matters. I mean, we're living in that world. We're spending a lot of time around these kids. That stuff matters, that they're going to be a Division II school and you can stay home and go to school and play ball there, whatever sport it is.
Yeah, and a lot of that timeline that you're talking about matches up with the leadership taking over. Dr. Faison, the university president, and
great.
Dr. Bryant, the athletic director, both of them have been huge in this venture of moving the thing forward, adding programs. They've added, I want to say, 6 teams in that time frame, where you're talking about men's and women's volleyball, golf coming in, women's soccer. They're adding all these teams. So they're now up to 16 programs in their athletic department as they make this jump into D2. So that's huge to continue to expand and provide more opportunities for student athletes, especially the local ones, like you said, who can now stay in Jacksonville and go to that NCAA Division II level.
Yeah, you have Flagler now and Edward Waters University that compete at Division II level. Here's my bold prediction. I think we'll see Flagler make the jump to D1 at some point soon.
Define soon.
I'm not putting Ruth's Chris on this, but I'm going to say,
trying to get you to do that.
And then I'll buy you ice cream. 8 people in Jacksonville if it's not done in the next, or at least the news of it in the next 5 years.
What kind of ice cream? Like gourmet?
Where did you buy Jacksonville ice cream? Over at like
Kilwins.
All right, I'll do the same.
Okay.
Next 5 years.
That's good. Great. That's great ice cream. I got an appetite.
All right.
Okay. Done.
That's my prediction.
All right. Done. And that's my plug for Kilwins.
All right. Hey, Webbers, hang around if you want. Talk about your buddy Jalen Ramsey a little bit more. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
It's Monday. I'm Casey Kurtz. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp dropped the series finale in a rain-shortened game on Sunday, 6-3. The Shrimp are back in Duval on Tuesday, taking on the Nashville Sounds. The Sounds are the Milwaukee Brewers AAA club and only visit Jacksonville once this season. Remember, you can hear the Shrimp all season long on ESPN 690 Radio and our Facebook, ESPN 690 Jax. Colin Morikawa won his second major championship at the Open on Sunday. Morikawa is the second player to win both the Open and the PGA Championship before turning 25 years old. The first was Tiger Woods. The end of the Open marks a run of 7 major championships in 11 months on the PGA Tour. It started last August at Harding Park with the PGA Championship, an event also won by Morikawa. And in soccer, the U.S. men's national team took down Canada on Sunday 1-0 to win Group B of the Gold Cup. This SportsCenter update sponsored by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
SportsCenter update brought to you by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. If it wasn't for football, I may have never made it through college. Whether it was classes going to that didn't really apply to what I wanted to do, whether it was taking unnecessary tests, some things with college just didn't make sense to me. The standard 4-year university, it's just not for everybody. So that's where my friends at J-Tech come in. If you're looking for a school that offers the kind of hands-on essential career training that can move you and your future in the right direction, you need to call my friends at J-Tech right now. Their only job is to give you the necessary skills and tools to make you an essential employee in whatever field you choose. Fields like automotive, diesel, HVAC, marine and RV, and transportation. And keep in mind, up to 84% of their graduates are employed in their field of choice right after graduation. J-Tech is now enrolling new students for their up-and-coming fall term that starts September 27th. So what are you waiting for? Call 904-483-9460. That's 904-483-9460 and schedule a visit on campus today. Ask for Hank and tell him Austin sent you.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks R Us Training Helpline. Today, we're discussing another difference between ding-dong doorbell cameras and safe touch security.
For one thing, the do-it-yourself ding-dong doorbell camera automatically enrolls the user in the doorbell's sharing network plan.
A sharing network? Why, that sounds lovely.
Until you find out that unlike Safe Touch, these ding-dong doorbell cameras automatically share the user's internet with neighbors, whether they like it or not.
Don't believe us? Search sidewalk sharing.
And then there's Safe Touch security with encrypted technology on the entire system, including video monitoring.
Which is just one more reason why we crooks have a golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. If you haven't already, write it down, newbie.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
The big one is back. It's time for the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. And Arlington's got over 700 new Toyotas available. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles and Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. Arlington will even give you top dollar for your trade. Shop the Big One, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/big one for full details.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Is your home not feeling very new anymore? Sick of that pink bathroom tile, popcorn ceilings, a stove older than you are? Whether it's repairs or reno, finance it smart with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, where you can borrow up to 90% of your home's appraised value. You've got good taste, but your block counters ain't cheap. So get to work and open a Honeydew HELOC with 1-to-1 Financial. When you do, we'll send you a free handyman tool set to get started. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
CMG Local Solutions. Visit cmglocalsolutions.com today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
We're like catching up on a couple of weeks. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Good times. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Stuart Weber. Stuart's going to jump in the show later this week. Austin's got a fight week ahead on Saturday in Orlando.
Thanks for taking over, man.
Yeah, thanks for punching someone in the face.
Yeah.
And not me.
Better you than
I
us.
see that you're still growing that beard out to try to, copy me a little bit here and then make a...
cutting it for camp or football season? You're keeping it? This is a look.
I think we're keeping it.
This is the 2021 look.
This is it, man.
I like it.
The world has changed, and so has my face.
the season of Stuart. I love it.
Hey, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. At some point, I could just wake up and be like, I'm done with this.
I hope not, man. I think it works for you.
It's been good.
Brent, you a little jealous because you can't grow one? Be honest.
No, I could grow one. I don't know if I could grow that thing.
He ain't growing that.
He's got he's a little spotty on the sides.
Yeah,
as
careful
well.
now.
On the spot, I don't have a video camera on me, but on the sides, yes, there's some spottiness, but
There's some scraps.
It's
good. You got the most important part though. That
the
goatee area would
front
be
and center.
good.
Looking good.
Looking
What I
great.
can.
Casey's got a beard. As we be descriptive and illustrative
Of
about our
course.
producer.
I just shaved. It was like a lot long. I won't say
What a
real.
flex. What a flex.
It wasn't a lot. It was a lot longer because I wasn't shaving for the hockey because that's what you do in hockey.
I was going to say, okay,
Yeah.
well, I hope your team was in it. And
At
you
least
just
he's
didn't-
from the
I
Tampa
got you.
area.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been with the Lightning for a hot minute, so we're not doing that.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about the Lightning.
Are you
but
a big Bucks
congratulations.
Nah.
Really?
A Buck? Like Milwaukee
Are you
Bucks?
just trying to appeal to our viewers and listeners?
No, I really never was with the Bucks because never liked Josh Freeman. Really, that's when I was a kid. And then when they really started, like when I started picking up on like who to like and whatnot, they drafted Jameis, and I'm a Gator fan, so that's out.
Gator fan, huh?
Well, at least you stay true to your roots. Props for that.
Do what I can.
Yeah.
SEC Media Days are today. Did
Yeah,
they say a whole lot of nothing?
Yeah, I'm good on that.
They did say a whole lot of nothing. Although, there's a few good barbs here and there, as there often are.
What did Lane Kiffin say? Anything cool?
He's probably not up today.
Oh, he's not up today?
I think it was just...
Getting on that lane train, baby.
LSU and Florida,
LSU and Florida might have been the other ones. I think Georgia goes tomorrow.
Georgia's tomorrow, yep.
Kiffin could be good. We'll see.
I know they had asked...
Mike Leach, my guy.
Yeah, I know. To talk about some kind of pirate... I don't know. He's all over the place with him. Is the season going to be good?
I
don't know.
He's a tremendous story person. That, by the way, is my first ever professional experience in this business.
Yeah.
So I arrive in Midland, Odessa, Texas. This is my first job in 2007. And they send me to the Big 12 Media Days in San Antonio.
Sure.
And so Texas Tech's the closest school to us in Midland. And so we're obviously in that interview. And every answer he gave during that session was 3 or 4 minutes long because he'd go on these tangents about
just gold, though.
Just stories of, oh my goodness, pirate stories. A story about how
guy's obsessed with pirates.
He loves pirates. A story about how one time he put diesel in his car and it wasn't a diesel car. And he broke the car or something. He also had coaches usually have like a glass of water in front of him. It wasn't water.
So
it was a darker liquid. Maybe Coca-Cola. Probably not.
This begs the biggest question about Mike Leach then. I mean, I'm assuming he does okay at Mississippi State, not as good as Lane Kiffin, but he does okay at Mississippi State.
We have a bet on this, by the way.
But let's say that he gets out of the realm of coaching. Who will be the biggest podcaster, Joe Rogan or Mike Leach? Because I feel like there's untapped potential there with Mike Leach and the podcasting
world. He might not catch up to Rogan.
He needs a co-host to guide
him.
I don't think so. I think you just get off on your tangents and you go to town.
Yeah,
he would be big.
It needs to be
huge.
It needs to be guided.
I don't think
it
so.
would be better having a YouTube channel. Just because then he could show the pictures of things that he puts out there.
A Twitch where he's just talking.
So he's going to be bigger than Jake Paul is what you're saying, or Logan Paul.
Maybe,
yeah. Okay, gotcha.
How much time
He'll
do we
be
have
fighting
left in the
Floyd
show,
Mayweather
Casey?
in 3 years.
About 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Not going to get this Jalen Ramsey one in. Quick thought on the Jalen, because we talked about it. Yeah. Jalen Ramsey, a lot of people have seen it by now, where they, the meeting after the Houston Texans game, and Shad Khan, Tony Khan, he said was respectful. It was Dave Caldwell that yelled at him, which surprised you and kind of cussed him out. And the one thing that really surprised me there is, what an odd time for that meeting without the head coach. Does that show you how you talk about cooks in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a level, if you listen to everything that Jalen Ramsey was saying there, I mean, I could see why he might have been a little perturbed by it or whatever, but it also shows his immaturity in that whole sequence of events. Like, he wasn't going to apologize, wasn't do anything. Dave Caldwell, I kind of felt like in the way it was described, at least by Ramsey, was kind of like, well, I got this, boss, almost to the owner, almost like, hey, I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
Our player here, you're not going to disrespect the owner. Maybe a little bit of, hey, I'll handle this.
Sure.
And Coughlin was apparently just sitting over there giving him, the stare.
Yeah.
But what struck me about the whole thing, which, by the way, we've heard the conversation, we've heard the story for years, and right after, and I'd heard that it was Caldwell that actually did the yelling. A lot of people thought it was Coughlin, and I had heard that it was Caldwell. But I'm just surprised by that whole sequence of events that if you're going to call one of your star players in, that the head coach wasn't in there.
You're absolutely right. Because in what other world does this fly? In what other world do you have the CEO? Do you have the HR, the assistant CEO? You have an employee, but you don't have the boss of that employee when there's altercation. Because the altercation stemmed from, obviously, Jalen Ramsey and Doug Marrone on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get everybody together here and sing Kumbaya and get along, where is the boss-employee relationship in the meeting? Why wasn't the boss there? Why wasn't Doug Marrone there? It's baffling to me. In no other world, I feel like does this fly. But for some reason, it flew. Now, once again, this is Jalen Ramsey's word. Take it for how you want.
Well, I do think I've heard that same.
Okay.
I don't think I've heard the story the way he told it.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't make it absolutely correct, but I've heard it that way and not from him.
So assuming everything, is 100% accurate here, in what other world does that fly? Does that make any kind of sense whatsoever?
Yeah, the whole thing is odd, right? I mean, again, we're talking about hindsight, but Jalen Ramsey gave us this gold from over the weekend in the podcast. And again, here's the thing. I thought it was probably a little surprising that it was all Caldwell that got Jalen so fed up that he wanted the trade.
Yes.
Like, that was the motivation in that setting. A little more than surprised about the setting and meeting happening without the head coach in there, who he had the beef with. And it did punch home the immaturity of Jalen Ramsey, which, these are young guys, and, he's a ton of swag. But, I mean, I left listening to that thinking, yeah, he's a pretty immature player.
Yeah.
Kind of like we knew at times. Very good.
Yeah.
But immature as well. Casey, welcome aboard.
Thanks.
Stuart, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, hey, action news tonight. Jags,
CBS 47
Gators,
and
Tigers,
Fox
oh
30.
my.
Yeah, you got it all.
Got it all covered.
Austin Lane.
Good to see you,
man.
man.
A good workout in.
I will. Well,
it's fight
tapering.
week.
We're tapering now.
Tapering.
Just a nice, easy workout. I will.
An easy workout.
I will. Easy workout in. It's good to see you again, man.
Yeah, it's great
you too,
to be
Stuart.
back.
Yeah.
We'll be back
Jason.
at it tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Watch Stuart tonight on CBS 47 and Fox 30. I still don't do TV anymore. Temperatures keep climbing, and hotter weather means your body needs more water. Stay hydrated. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure